Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Here's a big thing for you. How about we ban bands?
What?
Chris Wolfhard.
That's just a cope from people with agendas.
And Dr. Aggro.
I'm changing my name to Monster. Sue me then, you fuckers.
Here on GigaBoots. Did you not hear?
No.
They're still at it.
They're still suing people for naming themselves Monster.
Good luck with that.
But yeah, man, we're just really jumping ahead into this. Hey, Bob, you remember how it was going to be called Gods and Monsters, and then it got changed to Immortals Phoenix Rising?
Yeah.
That's because the Monster Energy Drink Company, they're at it again. And
But Ubisoft said that name change was totally their decision based on the vision of the game.
there was a vision with the game?
Yeah, it seems like a completely fabricated in that.
That is
just on that one
literally,
element.
if I had a company and a vision and an excuse to pair up, I would never pair up Ubisoft with artistic vision is why. You could literally do any other excuse of like, the engine couldn't export to platform name here.
Market didn't like it, or marketing didn't like it.
Right. There's anything else could have done it. But not that, no. Anyways, hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Thing number 270. I don't know if
Not quite that big.
309?
Lower, actually.
Man, Aggro, this prompted me to look this up, and this dude they went after this time is looking to dot their I's.
Yeah,
he's like, fuck
gonna
you,
fight him.
I'm fighting, I am releasing every single thing Monster gives me publicly. Did you know they claim they own the colors green and white?
Yeah. Yeah, they're insane.
Mhm.
They are deeply...
Brought to you by the company that accidentally sued Disney because they instructed their lawyer bot to sue everyone that used the word monster.
You know, like some sort of ink of monsters.
Wow. What an idiot.
Uh-huh.
How
And
are they still a company after that?
I don't know. Because they're owned by Coca-Cola now.
Then do it, yeah.
Anyways, hello. What a big thing. 307. This is a funny joke now, but when we hit episode 307, no longer a funny joke. No. Last week on Friday, Bob and I played Twilight Princess in a single sitting.
That was a lot in a single sitting.
That was a slow burn game.
The slowest Zelda game ever made, it felt like.
I'm pretty sure that's right. I can't even imagine how a 2D one could ever be like that. I don't have a lot of interesting things to say about Twilight Princess, and there's one reason why. It's just Ocarina again, but you're a doggo sometimes.
Yeah, until like 15 hours in when they forget that was a thing.
Yeah, I thought there would be a Twilight Kingdom to explore as doggo. So that was weird.
Yeah, because there kind of is for the first like 10 hours.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that a thing? And then I'm like, oh, they give up. It runs out. It truly is the 7th gen Zelda.
Yeah, and I was talking to Bob after the stream. I can't remember when it was because everything after that stream until this moment right now is a blur. But do you think that's something they retrofitted into the game later when they felt like they needed an interesting gimmick? Or do you think they had that idea from the beginning and then ran out of ideas for it and just went, whatever?
I feel like we didn't start seeing the Twilight stuff until later in development.
I mean, we didn't, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe that was something they retrofitted in.
Yeah, I mean, I could absolutely imagine that era Nintendo. Miyamoto wanders around.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows up. And he's like, oh, what is this? And they're like, well, this is a new Zelda. And he's like, that looks like Ocarina again.
He's right to say it.
You need something interesting this time. And some artist just drew Midna and was like, this.
I feel like Midna probably would have been part always because ever since Ocarina, they're like, okay, you have to have the tutorial character.
I mean, sure.
Like the character who gives you advice.
It could have just been another Navi until they made Midna.
Right.
Well, spoilers, I played the Minish Cap this week.
Minish, yeah.
Minish Cap. Yeah. So and that also has a character like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for it's attached to your head.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm starting to think that, like, I don't think it was retrofitted in, because it feels like after Ocarina they decided, okay, if we're doing one of these 3D Zeldas, it has to have a gimmick we hang the entire game on. Like Majora's Mask with its time loop and the masks. Wind Waker has the sailing. Twilight Princess has the Twilight Realm shit and the doggo. Skyward Sword has motion controls and being in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Minish Cap has shrinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Phantom Hourglass has sailing again.
It has touchscreen, and then Spirit
It has
Tracks has a
touchscreen.
train.
And then Spirit Tracks has, nobody knows what Spirit Tracks has because nobody alive's ever played that game.
That's true. They all died. there was a collapse in a coal mine, and they all died in there.
and you know, Four Swords, which you could play single player, had the 4 links, and they did that again with Triforce Heroes.
But with only
And then,
3.
But it was only 3.
3, and then Link Between Worlds didn't have any of that at all, and that's why it's one of the best Zeldas they made.
That's
No,
not
it had
true.
the
It had
2D
Doodle.
mode.
It had
Yeah.
Doodle Link.
Yeah, Doodle Link is incredible.
Like that's true. It did have Doodle, but it feels like you didn't constantly have to use Doodle Link.
Yeah, because they balanced it well.
Yeah, it was used sparingly as a power that you had, which worked.
Yeah, it worked. To speak more specifically about Twilight Princess, though, I don't doubt that world is really neat. If we had spent more time going into side content, just talking to random town members, but there's just something about it that seems weird. Like the whole game, there's just something about it that feels so incredible. Like, I'm not a huge fan of this is like that other game, ergo that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But Twilight Princess is really a lot like Ocarina, which is weird. Before Link Between Worlds, that might have been the most direct. You just did that again?
Yeah, it's like it feels so close, and they just made everything ugly on purpose. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a real shame that the aesthetic is. What if it was hideous? Like, hideous intentionally. So that way, when there are like 4 attractive people in the game, like people whose, when your eye catches them, it doesn't feel like burning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they stand out a lot. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I want to go back and more fully explore that game. But there's no world where I think it's better than Wind Waker. But it has really good temples. Like, I think it has some good temples in the back half,
It
which
does
is
have some
unfortunate
good
because
ones eventually.
the front half's pretty lacking.
Yeah, some of those temples are just bad.
Yeah,
like, there are more temples now than there were in Wind Waker because there was obviously a bunch of cut content there. But it feels like more than half of these are really bad temples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
I was really hoping I'd come back and like this more, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had the whole thing of I had a glitch near the end of the game. I had to play the whole game twice right when it came out, basically. And I thought that might negatively affect my perception of it. But no, coming back years later, I'm still like, this is like the weakest 3D Zelda.
Yeah, which, you know, now that I have a better understanding of that game, that glitch, by the way, happens right before the last temple in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It literally happens one step before you going to the last temple of the game. You know,
it's after all the terrible fetch quests they shove into the end of the game to pad it.
Yeah, because for anyone who doesn't know, there's a lot of, like, it's a very slow burn game up front, and the opening is just, it doesn't feel great compared to basically every other Zelda. And then it stops doing that, and the game starts feeling good and has ideas for temples. And then right before the last temple in the game, they make you do a really grueling fetch quest. And a thing that in another Zelda game, I feel like would give you a cool item.
Yeah, it's literally like the trading quest from Ocarina of Time, but it's now a mandatory thing and gets you nothing cool.
Yeah, it lets you beat the game.
Right.
Here's a soft lock.
That's a cool trick.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't that glitch only exist on the Wii version?
Yes, it only existed on the Wii version.
They deserved it.
Look, Edgar, I want widescreen. I want a widescreen.
Yeah. You were sucked in by the bright lights and the right-handedness, and you deserved everything you got.
Hey, I didn't want the right-handedness. That that made the game
Yeah, but the
literally
right-handedness
terrible.
wasn't a deal breaker, was it?
I think he's trying to say you lack the moral fiber needed to avoid caving into such temptations, and thus you deserved it as punishment. Bob has no
so
rebuttal.
sad.
I guess he's owned.
I guess.
Good job. Good job, Aggro. Yeah, if anything, I walk away from this going, it is really unfortunate that the opening is that slow and bad.
Yeah, with the things they tried to do to fix up the Triforce Quest, you'd think that they would have tried to do some sort of fix up through this to make the beginnings faster.
Oh,
Well, nobody
yeah.
complained about that endlessly, so didn't feel the need.
Yeah, you would have had to have some editorial vision, which I think they completely lack with these. And also, you would have to talk to someone who goes, yeah, I play a lot of the Zeldas a lot. This opening is too much. Cut any of it.
It felt like 10 hours of tutorial.
Yeah, we literally said at hour 9 that it finally stopped.
Right? It's like, this is insane.
So it's really funny that Okami came out around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping I liked Twilight Princess more. I think there are really neat things in it. I do like a lot of the temples after Wind Waker. That was really appreciated. I like Midna, and then there's the ultimate betrayal when she becomes a human and is shaped entirely wrong. I'm sorry, that just mathematically doesn't make fucking sense.
Look, Zant had some ideas.
Look,
like
people like different things, Dan.
And Zant had a powerful influence on this. Yeah, I don't know. That's just strange. I didn't remember that. I didn't remember them going, she has the same body type as Zelda, but eyebrows. And I'm like, that's not, come on now. That isn't, admittedly, we have that really good image. I think I still have it saved on my computer of, this is how Midna looks at maximum goblin values. Like, you know how in a lot of video games you get the created character?
Okay, yeah.
And you get the slider, and you can just slide it one way or the other. This is the slider turned all the way up for Goblin.
Oh, God. Her without the hat is cursed.
Yes, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. That is so cursed. Anyway, that was absolutely hilarious seeing that. I enjoyed going through Twilight Princess and having a knowledge of it now. I enjoy finally getting to experience the double hook shot.
In all of one dungeon.
In all of what? Well, they should have given us like we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, it would have been cool if more of this game was this. They really, in that first hookshot dungeon, they should have given you one hookshot and then you get to do another third of the dungeon and then they give you the second hookshot.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, that would have
Did
been
they not
top
do
tier.
that? That seems
No.
like you're making a Nintendo game. That's how you do that.
No, they actually kind of cheated. They gave you the hookshot really early on in like some temple, and then multiple temples later, they give you the
final
double.
temple gets you that. Which just, like, the game's over. This is cool for this one temple, but please.
Yeah, so that was...
I remember there being a pretty sick boss fight with the double claw shot.
Yes.
That was cool.
That was probably the highlight of the game, like, for boss fights.
What are you talking about? There's the final boss fight. Speaking of which, we're going to talk about that. If you don't want to have this game completely spoiled for yourself, please skip forward a little until you stop hearing the Dragon Quest music. That's right, Saints Row 1 spoilers.
You know
out.
it, man.
Oh fuck!
You're going to have to talk about it again, Chris.
Please don't.
There we go. It fits on screen. If it fits, it sits. So the end of this game, you fight Zant, and it combines every gimmick in the game, every boss battle gimmick in the game into one boss battle, except for one. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then you go fight Ganon, and they fit every gameplay type aside from those into the boss fight. Oh, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Oh, no, that means we're doing the terrible horseback combat.
Yeah, the horseback combat, which shouldn't be in the game.
Which I knew it would be terrible. I knew that. I watched you beat the boss in this game when you first beat it.
Yeah.
What I didn't expect is the part where it's like I didn't remember Zelda is the one who has to shoot the light arrows.
Which is conceptually neat.
It is conceptually neat until she misses.
Yeah, which should never happen.
Almost nonstop. And I was like, I want to die.
Yeah, and then Ganon just ratios you and just knocks you off the horse 100 times in a row.
So what the game's doing is you'll get knocked off by Ganon and he'll just stop moving his horse in the distance. And if you don't approach him the right way and start moving the right way, he will just continue to knock you off your horse over and over and over. Because they expect you to approach him in a very specific direction to set up this cool cinematic horseback combat. This is the worst thing in a Zelda game. I am giving this the Snow Beast Award.
Yeah. I feel like you can give it to any moment they make you do horseback. Anything. They made the horse feel worse than Ocarina of Time.
Yes, but in which we're playing the Wii U version, people were saying they messed up how horse movement felt. I haven't gone back to play the Wii one to confirm.
Yeah, I need to try it again.
I could see how they could fuck it up because the controls literally seem camera-based instead of the horse-based, and then it turns when the camera turns.
Yeah, I feel
in
like
a weird way.
It probably makes more sense in the way the camera works and everything on the Wii version, but I bet it still feels just as bad.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I bet it still doesn't turn right, and it feels like you have a hitbox that's twice the size of the horse.
Right.
But who knows?
I'm sure that's the case. But and then the cherry on top is Zelda just missing with the light arrows over and over again. And I'm like, please end. And that had nothing to do with us being an hour 28 of the stream because I really didn't mind. As I've said multiple times, I have like a ramp up on how I feel the longer a stream goes. It just, any battle that nothing you directly do can end the battle.
Yeah, that's
feels
demoralizing.
so rough.
Like that's even worse than just wait for the boss to use this specific move, then you can hit them after it.
Yeah. That's already rough, but oh man.
Aside from that, I just wanted to say also in the Ganon battle, the thing I didn't absorb before because Bob was playing is that it switches to this boss is doing a highly identical move pattern, but secretly you need to change forms and try to grab this with Midna, which is a thing we've never done before. Yes. And the only way you would know to do this is to ask Midna what she thinks is up in the middle of this boss fight.
God. Yeah, literally.
And it looks identical. It's just animating 20% faster and now impossible to hit. Just literally coded to be unhittable.
Yeah, which is crazy because it uses the sumo mechanics from early in the game, but
you did that as Link.
Yeah, you did that as Link. You never did that as Wolf Link,
and you never got Midna to stop anything like that, as far as I know.
No, that just didn't happen.
So, man, the end of this game's pretty good when you're fighting Xant and you're in the cool Twilight Castle, and then the the Ganon stuff happens, and it's cool. The build up to it, kinda.
Yeah, like again thematically neat, cool.
Yeah.
Man, playing it though.
So anyways, for now, I'm giving this a Snow Beast Award for Zelda games. You think I would have given it to the Triforce Quest. But no, this actually upset me more. Which is insane because I stopped playing Wind Waker for years because it's like 2 years I put that game down because I was like, fuck you.
You get to the Ganon battle, you put down the game.
Yeah, I would have put down the game, like gotten a gun and put it down. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to cut back to the normal. We're leaving the Dragon Quest zone. Anyway. And that's Twilight Princess. Bob, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, I guess not. Like, we already went over how weird it is that the Twilight stuff just stops. They also never give you any new abilities for the wolf form. Like you start with all of them you get, which is really strange. Like they don't have an item equivalent. They don't have a new moves you learn like they do
Yeah,
with the
we talked about that a lot, where it's like you would expect any movement stuff.
yeah.
Because you get those techniques as normal Link from the...
I remember the one movement thing he does have that they stopped doing.
Which one?
Where you'll get to a random part of a platform and then Midna will fly somewhere and be like, you can jump to me.
Yeah.
And there's no good indication of where you can do that. And then they just realize it's bad. So they stop doing it like 10 hours in.
God.
Yeah, if there was ever a game from Nintendo that doesn't feel like a game from Nintendo,
Yes.
it's this, because they normally don't make mistakes like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to think that like just the whole GameCube era of Nintendo outside of Melee is a wash.
Which is weird because once they got to the Wii, you know, Smash was like, okay, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brawl fans, that game sucks. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, though.
Yeah.
I like a lot of what's in Brawl.
They made cool cutscenes.
It's got Metal Gear Solid stuff. It's got really cool designs for characters. I like a lot of things about Brawl. Too bad it's the worst one.
Also, that's when they start using awful looking Twilight Princess Link. So, you know, extra bad.
Yeah, you hate that.
Yeah. He looks... I don't even dislike the way Link that looks that much in Twilight. I think he's one of the best looking characters in Twilight Princess.
Okay.
The design they made for Brawl is hideous. Like it's just somehow it's overset, like desaturated him and made him look even uglier.
I'm gonna have to look at this because I've never held like in my brain. I'm like, whatever, it's just Link. I don't fucking know. Link. Smash Brawl. Okay, let's see if it brings him up. Okay, let's look at this image. No, that's not him. Wait, is this him? Yeah, what's wrong with this design for Link, Bob?
It's awful. It's soulless.
You know, I understand where Bob's coming from because I feel like for Twilight Princess specifically, one, it's them trying to do Ocarina again. Two, I feel like somebody on the staff of the game high up saw Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
And is like, Zelda should look like this now.
No, I get it.
But however bad Link is, I think the Zelda of Twilight Princess is way worse.
Oh yeah, she's awful. She's like the worst Zelda design.
She's almost
that's
not
the only
there,
Zelda.
So
That's the only Zelda I would say would throw a drink at a service worker.
What would Midna do to a service worker, Dan? Your mind's going dark places, don't. Anyway, Midna seems really cool.
Yeah, Midna's like the
Midna.
positive part of this game for sure.
She is. She's great. I think there's something deeply funny about Nintendo going that unhinged with that design.
I assume higher ups did not know. Like, no, they just flew past them.
They're like, whatever. It's like a scribble.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was 2005. Nobody knew. But then again, they also put Wendy Koopa in Mario, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Something about her being the Scrimblow of this game made them not process that the camera is up her ass. Her ass is huge. She's just shaped that way. They're like, whatever, God made her that way. And I'm like, no, you made her that way, artist. Stop fucking lying.
We really need, Dan, I'm sorry that I have to put another goal onto you at some point. Oh, no. You really need to do like the Mario RPG round because you need to see what they did in Inside Story. You need to see that game.
Oh, I'm distressed by this segue.
That kind of stuff is like almost all that game is.
Jesus.
Pear-shaped gremlin women?
No, stuff that a normal person would look at and go, guys,
fellas,
did we need this part specifically?
All right.
We need the part of Bowser's Inside Story that the entire plot hinges on, that there's a disease going around that just makes toads become big and round.
Okay, so hey Bob, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Good.
Oh, that's great. Did we have any other games? I played the demo for Sea Smash. I did not enjoy it. That blew my fucking mind. For people who don't know, Sea Smash is the PlayStation VR 2 spiritual successor to Cosmic Smash, a game that's kind of like 3D Pong or table tennis or what was the fucking
Squash.
Squash, thank you. I feel like the physics aren't on point with it because I want to do a smash. Like I want to take the thing, smash the ball into the ground and have a physical reaction and bounce that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
It did not at all. I don't know why it's not made right, but
yeah, that's weird.
it has all sorts of things coded in where if you like move the paddle vertically either way as you hit it, it will do a spin. It will do a hook. Hook and slice, if you will. But just for some reason you can't bounce it like that. I don't know. So I didn't enjoy it at all. And something I didn't even tell you about, when you look down, you have a body coming out of your body in the wrong spot, way too far forward.
Weird.
And it just sort of bobs and stuff as you move. So it's the worst VR game from that angle, too. And I'm like, why did you put this here? That just looks amateurish and awful. So anyway, I didn't enjoy Sea Smash. So I'm not going to pick that up, unfortunately. I would have loved to do online multiplayer Sea Smash, which is even in the demo. Yeah, even the demo's like, hey, you want to play against someone? I'm like, yeah, but no one's going to be there looking for a match in this demo of this PSVR 2 exclusive.
You could maybe convince Aggro to.
Hey, Aggro, do you want to play Sea Smash?
I mean, I do.
Okay.
Even after all that sounds like a novel experience.
Okay, download the demo. We'll figure it out. Then at least I'll get to play one online match. Also, it feels really weird that the space is pretty big. So they like, by the way, when I move absolutely everything out of the way, it would let me do room scale.
Wow.
But they want you to be able to move faster. So you have a stick to move you left and right.
Huh.
Which is, honestly, I'd prefer just the playfield be more narrow and move my body.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's it for Sea Smash. Hey, Bob. Did you have any video games you played?
I did. They put out a new Skullgirls character last week. They released it like on Friday or so.
Who was it?
It was Black Dahlia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so she's pretty cool. She's like an assassin.
She came out in a beta a while ago.
Yeah, that's how that always works. But now it's actually out on everything. And you can play the story mode, which you cannot do in the beta.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, because they got to draw all that shit and voices and stuff.
She's one of those Hitler characters, right? Where she's like, I put a grenade behind you that'll go off in X amount of seconds. Better keep track of that asshole.
Like gameplay wise or story wise?
Gameplay wise, I know she's like a psycho assassin in story wise.
Gameplay wise, it doesn't seem to have traps like that. She seems to be. She has a gun arm and she can load it with different ammo types. And they do different things, like fire is the basic one, but then you also get like a plasma cannon where it does a straight line blast, or a ice shot where it freezes him for a second. So kind of, now that I'm saying it, kind of like Resident Evil 5 Chris in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
That's funny. For anyone who played Skullgirls like 10 years ago or 15 years ago when it came out, she was actually in that room as you go up the elevator and it opens to the office. She's sketchily drawn as one of the people at that desk. So
yeah, she's one of the characters that's been there literally since the beginning.
So there you go. Finally in the game.
The only trap-like thing she has is she can show down like a carpet, like a rug, and then teleport to it.
Okay, that is cool.
But yeah, she seems like a lot of fun. I also played her story mode, which is pretty much non-canon, because it feels like, you know, when Blaze Blue gets off and does its own weird thing and like, and it goes to an alternate ending that obviously is not canon in any way.
No, what are you talking about? Ragna the Blood Edge and the cat end up at an Asian buffet and can't pay for their food, and then they run away, and that's the end of Blaze Blue.
There's that 45-minute long one that's about the magical girls with tits.
So it's like one of those, but for a villain. So literally a ton of characters get killed off.
Ooh.
But it's pretty fun. These are not voiced, which I guess they never were. Okay. That was maybe a stream goal back when they did the Kickstarter, but I guess they didn't ever get to do that.
Huh.
But yeah, I also this is a chance to go back and play the story modes I hadn't played from this new season of content. So Annie's and Umbrellas, and most of those seem much more canon and pretty fun.
You say that like it's a good thing.
I mean, Black Dahlia is really crazy, so that's fun in its own way. But it's also cool to see them kind of push the timeline forward a little bit, but also be like, well, clearly there won't be a straight sequel, so we're just going to build it out by having these character stories happen.
Man, a straight sequel, that would be crazy.
That would be pretty crazy. I mean, I guess they could feasibly do that and just use all the same exact sprites, but make new menus and stuff. Because weirdly, I think the thing that has aged worse in Skullgirls is the main menu.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that does not look good and never quite did.
Yeah, from functionality angle, I've never really liked it. Like, I want it to be snappier and give me more options visible on the screen at once.
Right. So who knows? Maybe at some point they will do something like that. That'd be nice. Also, when you beat the game, it does a credit sequence which goes through every stage of development.
Ooh.
So literally, it starts with current development and has all the people for that. And then it's like, for DLC, the Kickstarter, like, second part, then all of these different sections. There's like, I'm sitting here getting nostalgic over a credit roll of like, wow, this sure goes to go back to like 2010.
You know what's cool though? Skullgirls has a really good netcode.
Mm-hmm.
Skullgirls is a fun feeling fighting game with really good netcode. I'm glad they get to keep that netcode. Thanks, chump. Anyway, I wish there was. Don't they have higher frame rate options on PC? Like just for running the game at like 120 or whatever?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they would do a PS5 version. Yeah.
Right, that's what I was going to get into. I wish they would do that. I mean, at least the PS4 version loads levels insanely fast, if I remember correctly, or maybe that was a PC. Because, you know, you would go to do a new level and it would be like, bam!
Yeah, it still does that pretty darn quick.
That's always awesome. What were you playing on, PC or
PS4? Or PS5, but it's PS4 version.
I was playing on PS4. It has soul.
But yeah, it just made me think of like watching, I think it was called Salty Cupcakes was their stream back in the day where they would just stream.
Yes, that is
Yes, I believe that is the case.
From some shop that let them do it, like some restaurant. And it was really neat to see like a dev team like that. Like you just didn't get that sort of interaction. Still don't really from a dev team. So yeah, that was a lot of cool stuff. I'm really excited to see how they handle turning Maria into a real character. Because currently she's the boss character.
No, they'll leave her as that. She's good.
No, she's not.
No, it's fine. She's the Ivan Ooze.
Oh my god. Black Dahlia, the first thing they'd have you do in story mode is fight boss Maria.
Oh, cool.
It's like this. Guys, this is the first time I played this character. I had this quit out and go try and learn her elsewhere.
Get good, Bob. I would like to note there was a character listed on that giant thing, the Indiegogo thing, to be like, what character should we add? And they would describe what their playstyle was. And one of them was Ivan Ooze. And I'm like, what's that supposed to tell me other than they're broken?
Oh, they'll be broken.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's what you want, right?
I mean,
I believe that
maybe.
was Brain Drain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who he actually shows up in the story modes.
Good. Awesome.
There's probably someone there who still wants to make him a character.
Look, I got everything I wanted. Umbrella's in the game.
He does look very cool.
Yes, he does.
And also exactly like a Power Rangers villain.
Yes, he does.
The story mode also told me things about Umbrella I didn't know that were make it very clear why they wanted her to be a playable character way sooner.
Yes. She's important. And no one would listen.
No, they wouldn't. She was forever salty. Oh, man. So it's great they got to make those characters. I hope that they continue to do another season or something of this. They did talk about a long time ago, hey, maybe if this sells well enough, we'll just do a Fizz character in the season pass, but they haven't said anything about that since, so I assume that did not sell well enough.
Probably not. If only it was at Evo. Then it would solve everything.
Wasn't
Definitely.
it at Evo once?
It was
Yes,
Eddie.
it was. That's kind of the joke here. If it was going to happen, it would have by now.
Or maybe they were like, maybe it sold so well, they're like, we can just make a new thing entirely.
That'd be cool. Doesn't even need to be a fighting game. You can come back to Skullgirls later. Make some cool thing. Make Mischief Makers 2.
Yeah, I would love to see this team make something else. Anything.
Like a Metroidvania RPG? That would be cool.
That'd be
pretty
cool. Anything that the biggest dirtbag in the world doesn't steal from them.
Yeah.
It'd be terrible if that happened. I would say if such a thing happened, it would be legal to chase down that dude with a brick.
Zoinks! Anyway, that's all I had to say.
Come up behind him with an length of extension cord, and that's it for him.
Chris is not a lawyer. Nobody on Big Think is a lawyer,
this
and
is
this
all
does not
theoretical.
constitute legal advice.
None of this actually happened. We're talking entirely about
I'm
the
just
person
saying that
does
if it did.
Yeah, if it did, which it won't.
Yeah, obviously, it never would.
I'm
whatever.
just referencing that scene in The Sopranos where Tony Soprano strangles that snitch with the length of extension cord.
Oh, that's a great scene. Sorry, Chris just came from our Sopranos spoiler cast we're doing. We're watching one season at a time, and he has to recap every episode. Hey, Bob, did you play anything else?
I did play one of these things.
Okay, what'd you play?
I played Sifu. They added the arena mode. Which Sifu is like a 3D beat 'em up sort of game. Released last year. It's a lot of fun. The arena mode adds a bunch of new areas and does different things thematically and like goal wise with them. So some of them are like, okay, survive this wave of enemies staying at the lowest age you can, which you age up whenever you die. So it's like basically don't take damage. And then other ones focus on score, and others focus on capturing areas, which is weird. There's like there's like a larger area you run around, and like, okay, I got to get to this next zone. Between these two ferns is really important to kill the guys near them.
I saw that in the trailer, and I'm like, what is your game anymore?
And a ton of them are just like straight movie references. So you'll be like, okay, this is the Matrix battle. They make it rainy, and you fight dudes that look Agent Smith-esque.
Yeah.
They did one for Old Boy because they already put that scene in the game originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
Nice.
a hallway sequence near the beginning of the game. It's just literally straight from that movie.
Yeah, they're like, welcome to Sifu. We're going to do this a lot.
Kill Bill's there, Game of Death. There's even, you get the drive jacket for one of the levels.
Ah!
I'll be back. One moment.
But yeah, all of it was a lot of fun. They made a ton of these levels. Like, I played this for several hours and I was still unlocking more and more, and there's just pages of it. And they even at the very end, it's like, yeah, these are coming soon. It's like, yeah, they're gonna keep updating this mode. I'm like, kind of crazy.
Cool.
I think my favorite of them I found was one of them was on a helicopter landing thing on top of a skyscraper.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the goals are like, okay, kill these guys. So it's like, yeah, try and shove them off the building before the other guys get you.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Cool. I have a 4090 now. Should I just get the PC version so I can play as Shaggy?
Maybe. I mean, that did just release on Steam with all these things, so might
Maybe
make sense. But yeah, that's all I played.
Okay. Well, I get to talk about something else I played. I tweeted out images. I played Jumping Flash, and their emulator's just broken and parts of the UI just corrupt. This is what I get for being an extra high sub on PlayStation Plus. This broken fucking emulation of an absolutely ancient video game. These motherfuckers, I swear to God. For one bit there, I was like, I'll just keep it at this sub level and then just maybe check out a little bit more. No, fuck them. This is unreasonable.
Right. They're not even updating it frequently.
They added trophies. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't want trophies for games.
That's why I'm playing through it again, because I thought, oh, I love Jumping Flash. I already beat it once. I'll beat again and get some trophies. And then I played it. I'm like, oh, the whole screen's corrupting. Fuck these guys. God, I hate them.
Yeah, when it's like Nintendo's outpacing you and they're releasing stuff like Scrunt. Come on.
Well, not only that, their N64 emulation was really bad at launch, but then they improved it slightly, I hear.
Oh, that's good. Oh, right.
And,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
whole
I
draw
bet,
distance thing.
I bet nothing. Oh, it was a number of things, but I bet nothing was just corrupted on-screen elements of your health and items in Ocarina of fucking Time. Sony needs to just. They need to fucking get their shit together. They need a decomp team just working on making decompilations of their old software. They need to be working on some actual legitimate PS1 retro micro console to sell to people. They need to get their shit together. Because it's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. I feel like the boat sailed on making their own console because they did it and it was bad. Like,
It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't now go back and try again. I feel like the whole phase of people doing those is over even.
Well, here's the thing. That's because everyone made one and then stopped, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not a demand for that. In fact, we had a news thing come out like the last month where it was like somebody selling bootleg SNES versions of that and it had porn on it. That was in the last month. There's always going to be a demand. Like it's fucking absurd to be like, they haven't made it in 8 years. No one will ever buy it again. And it's like, how would you know?
Yeah,
Dumbass.
It is weird that they like Nintendo and Sega could have just kept those on the market. They would continue to sell.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason they wouldn't just keep selling.
Absolutely.
Nintendo just seems to be Nintendo seems to have absorbed the Disney Vault philosophy
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. But like Nintendo guys, there's always going to be people who had a Super Nintendo, fucking love the Super Nintendo, but aren't into gaming anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only thing you can possibly do by keeping the Super Nintendo Classic on the market is to sell them. It's not going to fucking hurt anything related to the Switch. If that's your idea, you're crazy.
Oh yeah, because no one who's not into video games is like, well, I hear if I buy this multiple hundreds portable and then pay monthly,
Yeah.
I can play these things. That's not going to affect that. That's
Right.
a different
I have a
market
brain
entirely.
disease. I have a Mister and a Super NT coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be like, yeah, but the SNES Classic, I
Yeah,
should buy it.
I mean, same. If you guys pay attention, some of the times in the background, you can actually see we own basically all of those. I know we skipped out on one because we were like, fuck it, who cares? I think that was the SNES one. We were like, my brother will lend it to me so we can check it out. But no, those things are neat. And here's the thing. You want to say like, oh, well, the fat on that's over. It's like, motherfucker, they literally had jank versions of that forever.
Yeah.
Forever. They had those AT games fucking micro consoles at your Walmart for the Genesis.
People sell emulation boxes constantly.
Yeah.
Like
No,
all
people-
the time.
Who in their right mind it would just go $60 for an old console and like 20 good games? No. Like,
Right. A lot of people they would see it. It looks like the Super Nintendo they grew up with and be like, I want it.
right. And that's like not even talking about like people who want to get their kids shit like that,
Yeah.
which is its own market.
Oh, for sure.
That's a different market that is growing. Anyway, the moral of the story here is that if Sony was run by a competent lot, they would be making their own studio to just do decompilations of their older games and porting that shit to everything.
I don't understand because movie studios at least have figured out, oh, people want our old shit, we should make it available.
Yeah.
But there's one additional step of having to make it actually work on your new shit that broke all the minds of every game company.
Yeah.
Yeah. It costs any money to do it all. So they just won't.
Yeah. It's funny because making a decompilation is the closest thing we have to making an agnostic version of a game. The thing that's like almost a holy grail.
Mm-hmm.
Because films, you made the film. Convert the film to whatever format it is.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do, asshole. Meanwhile, like games are different. Games are highly optimized for the platforms they're on. They do specific things that, you know, you can't port easily. Meanwhile, you go back and you make a decompilation. Like if a motherfucker out there did a decompilation of Jack 1 by himself. You're telling me a guy can figure out how to decompile Jack and Daxter better than you can figure out a PS1 game? Go fuck yourself. And it's evergreen. You get to keep those forever. You do the work once, And the porting process from there is very minimal work in comparison.
Right.
I mean, now that we've hopefully, I'm gonna be beyond angry if we get to the PS6 and like it doesn't play PS4 games. That's too hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the PS6 is going to play PS4 games, but who
But
knows?
so we're now at like the point where it should be forever backwards compatibility.
Right.
So it should be like, okay, we need to get all our shit onto this platform, all of it. We need to have the platform.
Instead, we
Yeah.
can't even get all the God of War games. It's like,
Right.
Yeah, we can't even get all the games for franchises that are still alive and active and successful.
right.
You can't play any of the Ratchet games other than that remake and the new one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
You can't play any of the old God of Wars other than 3.
And it's not like you can pretend that you don't see value in this at all because you have the streaming PS3 back compat initiative.
Yeah.
If you didn't see value in this at all, you never would have even done that. Because why would you?
You're a giant company. Just hire like 50 people and be like, this is your job. Just get it done. You don't really have a strict time frame. It doesn't matter. None of this shit's time sensitive.
None of this shit's time sensitive. It's evergreen content. The fact that they are selling Jumping Flash in 2023 proves it. That shit is ancient.
Yeah. That's a PS1 launch title, right?
That basically.
Yeah.
So
It's been a minute.
all I'm saying is if I were any of these publishers that have a decent back catalog, that would be the number one thing I'm working on. Because good Lord, when you see that a guy can do Jack and Dexter in like 1 to 2 years, you start to go, well, wait a minute. If one guy can do that, can't we hire like 20 and have 20 games done in somewhere under 2 years?
Yeah, but we need to replace every single asset in the game to re-release them.
What?
I'm
No, we
insane.
don't- what?
I've lost my mind.
No, that's not what you did with this terrible PS1 emulation.
I'm sorry, we need to allocate all of those resources to remaking Horizon 1 for some fucking reason.
That better fucking be fake.
Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I can't wait until that comes out and it has a PC port that is worse than the one that already exists for no reason.
Oh
And
my God.
completely sinks any chance for that to catch on. Boy, if The Last of Us can have what happened to that PC port, we're obviously just doomed.
Yeah.
Like, that's supposed to be the crown jewel of fucking Sony's empire, and it's like, just give it to Iron Galaxy. It doesn't fucking matter.
Here's the thing. Here's the fun part. Iron Galaxy was like, yeah, we helped out with that a bit. And then Sony, the way they phrased it is like, yeah, they helped out a bit. And it's just like, I don't know. You said it was a bit, but this seems like a real Iron Galaxy joint over here.
It's amazing how they're always attached to the absolute worst ports in PC gaming.
At this point, I'm just convinced Dave Lang thinks it's funny.
Right?
Dave Lang must absolutely be getting off on this. Anyway, just figured I'd work that rant in. Also, Ridge Racer Type 4 is an amazing super game. It's possibly the peak of the racing genre, theoretically. So it's horrible that the first time I ever played this game and felt literally nothing was playing the back compat of it on the PS5. Because everything looks like shit. Because every polygon on the screen's warbling every frame. Because keep in mind, the PS1 it doesn't have floating point processing. So polygons must begin and end on fixed pixel aligned points. So it's restricted to the original resolution. Now it's running at like 6 times that. So as it has a polygon that can only fit at 4 points, but has 36 times the pixels, you just watch every car on the road just warp horribly every fucking frame. And I'm like, I hate this. This looks hideous. You've ruined such a beautiful thing. And then the Ridge Racer 2 on the PSP has horrible broken UI stuff. Fuck Sony. This is genuinely insulting that this is what their offering is. Because what's the price I'm paying for this again? Let me look it up right fucking now. Because we don't talk about that enough.
Is it on the highest tier or the second tier?
It's on the highest. This is the most premium end of the Sony experience.
That's already stupid, but
That's so insane. if it was actually good, that I could remotely hear out the argument, Bob, over the original PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
This is theoretically costing me $8 a month by itself.
Oh.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Jesus Christ. I never ever want to hear Sony ever be like, oh, piracy's so bad. You don't get to say that when you serve slop.
No.
Anyways, that rant's out of the way. We're going to move on to Dr. Aggro. Hey, Dr. Aggro, what you been playing?
In addition to the Ever game, Octopath Traveler 2, I did finally pick up Switchback VR.
Uh-huh.
Which has been a lot of fun so far. It is, I mean, I really want to hammer home how spooky this game is. It is ooky spooky.
Oh shit.
Like, it is straight up, you are in a thing on a roller coaster track, literally in the world, and the lights go on and off and it makes spooky sounds, and then a zombie comes out of the wall and it's an arcadey rail shooter where, like, there's a bunch of objects in the environment will have a symbol on it, and you got to shoot them, and then shoot this box to upgrade to an Uzi for a while, Time Crisis style. And then every now and then, like, a zombie will pop up right next to your cart, and you're like, oh no, and you shoot it in the head, and it, when its head blows up, and there's gore everywhere, and it's campy, spooky, haunted house rail shooter action, and it's fucking weird, and it's a lot of fun.
So I guess based on our Resident Evil 4 force feedback video, I guess the question is, did you shit your pants?
No, as it turns out, and I literally explained this to my mother when I was describing this game to her.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not in control of the movement, the game's not scary anymore.
Oh.
Huh.
It's a weird mental thing where if I'm not the one choosing the pace we're going at, nothing that's happening is half as scary.
I get
because
that.
I've got two guns with infinite ammo, and I don't control the pace at which the danger comes at me. Let's do this.
I do wonder then if that escape room thing from the thing I keep calling the anime trilogy of PSVR games lets you move, and if that'll affect you in the same way.
If you ever remember what that's called, I would like to look into that.
Yeah, I'll have to look into what that's called.
Yeah, that's weird, because I feel like when I'm playing a horror game, it helps me to be able to just run, because I just know, oh yeah, I can just run past this obstacle. It won't be a real problem if I get away.
What if you can't get away? They'll find you.
I don't know.
They do really go above and beyond to give the. I mean, like the first section is you're going through the haunted woods, and that's basically a tutorial, and then you go to like the dockyard full of zombies, and you're going in and out through various eras of dilapidated ships. And it's this long ass track you're going through, and you keep going in and out of sections, and it's like the whole thing does have this sort of realism to its design, but every time you're inside of a structure, it is very clearly, this is a haunted house. Like it's not a level themed the same way a haunted house would be. You are in a haunted house. It's a really specific aesthetic, and I dig it.
Are there bats? Do you shoot bats?
There are swarms of rats.
And
I do remember shouting "terror bites" as I unloaded double Uzis into them.
No one, and
no
I
one,
mean
yeah,
no one
one
is going to get that. Which is sad. They should.
Christopher Sabat told me.
Yeah, there was a weird section where like flame was spewing out of a pipe, and I had to shoot 3 different valves to drain off the liquid, but the pipes the valves were attached to were of different lengths, and I had to hit them staggered so that the liquid would all hit the other end of the pipe at the same time.
Ooh.
which is something I had to figure out, and kind of sat there staring at this puzzle for a while because I didn't realize it was a puzzle. I didn't know there would be puzzles.
There.
You didn't warn me.
The real horror, puzzles.
Oh God.
And there is some actual like ducking in this game. Lean left, lean right, lean down to avoid getting damaged.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a weird mix of super campy and try hard, gory, edgy. It's right in this weird sweet spot.
So the leaning is like actually you physically leaning, or are there like buttons for it?
No, you have to lean your head.
Okay.
Yeah, I've taken to I have set a wooden chair in the center of my living room to sit on this thing to, I guess, complete the experience of sitting in a chair in the game.
Too real.
It seems to be interwoven with some mystery plot we're slowly going to go over. At the end of one level, like the game opens and you're sitting on a subway car, and it crashes, and spooky shit happens. And I'm pretty sure the cart ride that I'm on is in hell or on the way to it. But I think I did a more complicated version of that Valve liquid pipe puzzle, and I think I saved one of the people that was also on the subway cart.
So you redeemed yourself and you're no longer going to hell, right?
No, I think I solved the puzzle and they're no longer going to hell.
Oh, that's that. You know, I don't like free handouts. I think their salvation should come from them solving a puzzle.
We flash back to the subway car, and I got to hear more of the voicemail from my girlfriend, I think. I don't know. It's one of those games where you do a thing and it drip feeds you more random bullshit, and I guess by the end there's going to be a plot.
You've described a video game.
Now I'm just thinking of that Slav Jank game.
Civi.
Yeah, Civi
was
played.
playing that one that involves a frozen naval ship.
Cryostasis?
Yes. Yes. I think Aggro would get a lot out of playing that game, actually.
Probably.
I mean, I've never been let down by two people looking at each other sideways and going, I think Aggro would like that game.
When's the 6 month arc of Aggro getting into Pathologic 2?
We have two halves to this podcast.
Which is one of those games that I don't actually know anything about it. It's just people talk about it like it's some fucking occult ritual.
We just start doing spoiler casts for absolutely ancient PC games.
I mean, that sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Fuck doing Netflix shows. Coming up next, Exargon? Jill of the Jungle?
Stellar 7.
Stellar 7? I shit my pants playing this game. That man's face is scary.
I will say that Switchback VR uses eye tracking to good effect.
Oh, God, shit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't actually met those enemies. I just meant in shooting.
Oh, okay.
Because you're dual wielding the whole time. So that comes in handy.
Yeah.
Using the eye tracking. But I have found, like, if I close one eye, I can actually use the iron sights on the pistol correctly, which is also very nice when I have time to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say using eye tracking for dual wielding Uzi sounds even better and more important than, Horizon using it for a bow.
Right.
The bow is a single thing I could aim with theoretically like one arm, is doing most of the aiming. Meanwhile, two Uzis, it's like, I'm just going to spray and pray for my man. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, that's pretty much it. It is it seems to be exactly what was written on the box all the way.
Was there a box, or did you get it digitally?
There's no box.
No, okay. I don't think a box.
This is metaphorical, and you're tearing it apart, and you're such an asshole, Bob.
Look, I was curious. Like, none of the VR games seem to be getting physical releases. So.
Is there a Canadian girlfriend, Aggro? And I'm like, Bob, that's rude. Bob, stop.
I mean, I'm as disappointed as you are that the PSVR 2 doesn't have a disc slot on the headset, and you're slipping in like GameCube-sized mini discs.
Oh, it needs to load. One moment.
That's
It
the
sounds
haptic feedback.
It sounds like the UMD's loading. You know, the scraping, like. Yeah. Oh man, that's the
You
shit.
bend the headset really hard and fire a UMD.
Okay. How are you bending the headset? It's on your head.
You just do one good like punch to the top of it.
So you just punch in your nose. Well, I guess that means we're going to Chris. Hey, Chris, what you been playing? He's like, I'm not here, and I told you that.
RE4.
Yeah, that's actually what I've been playing.
Also, the Minish Cap, which I did not beat yet, but I am pretty close, I think.
Sorry.
That game's good. I don't think it's as good as Link to the Past or Link's Awakening.
Oh, don't say that.
I don't want to hear that. Those are fucking high bars, though.
I mean, it is our Capcom one. Do you think it kind of ranks along with Age of or Oracle of Ages, or have you played that?
How much of those I've played is that it's a lot better than those because those are kind of bad.
Don't listen to him. He must have played Seasons.
I think I did. I know that one of them is the combat focused one, and the other one is the actual fucking game.
That's still crazy to me because I by chance
I don't even know if their marketing leaned into that, but that's what everyone says now, so it must have.
Right.
It must have leaned into that. All I remember is being a kid and being enforced, and it's like, you can't get to this path. Which season lets the tree? And I'm like, go fuck yourself. Anyway, tell me about the funny hat.
The hat is less funny than you might think. Like, it is not an asshole.
Huh. All the art made it seem like it was.
There's official concept art of it being an asshole, but in game it's not really.
Does it say it?
No, it does not.
Oh wow, Ego Raptor exaggerated it yet again in order to have an excuse to say it. Shocking.
In fact, it doesn't even make sense because you pretty early on you see the hat's not cursed form, and it's like, yeah, it makes sense that he's not an asshole.
That thing has a form where it's not cursed.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought that this was some weird epic origin story for Link's hat.
Yeah, I thought this thing was just like a fucked up leech. I don't.
It was going to be like, yeah, it's the same hat for every era of time.
Oh, it just eats brains.
He's dead though, because it's just his skin.
Because his hat ate him.
We're going two different directions. I don't like it.
Visually, very, very nice. It looks like the Super Nintendo version of Link's Awakening, which is I always thought was a really nice looking game in general. It just like has more colors and animations and frames.
Oh, like a hypothetical Super Nintendo version? Because that doesn't exist.
Yeah, like a hypothetical.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. It looks like like if you made a Zelda game the same style in Super Nintendo fidelity.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't Minish Cap have a sort of Wind Waker style to it? Like the Link?
A little bit.
Like
a little bit.
The Link edges towards that.
Like his head's big. So
that's just a sprite.
He's so big. His head's huge. He has so much bird he can hold with it.
It fixes the one glaring flaw of Link's Awakening, in my opinion, which is in Link's Awakening, at least I think the Switch version of this fixes it allegedly. You're constantly in the fucking menus changing items in Link's Awakening. Because you only have two buttons.
Because you only have two buttons,
yeah.
And not just that, but they'll do shit like, okay, you got to jump and you run in this room, and then immediately in the next room there's a bunch of enemies. Switch back to the fucking sword, and then after that it's run and jump again.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
And in Minish Cap, it feels more like they designed the dungeons to flow, and like in this segment you need this item, and in this segment you need this item. So there's more time between you needing to switch back and forth, which makes it feel a lot better.
And I assume the sword is a constant item in that instead of the.
No, you only have two. The Game Boy Advance only has two buttons. So
I mean, it has L and R. So
it has L and R, but R is
Grab.
R is for lifting and talking. And you have a dodge roll on it.
And then L.
And then L seems to exclusively be used for the Kinstone system, which is bad. So there's these things called kinstones. And they're half of like, imagine like a friendship pendant or whatever, where each person has half.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those. So
Mm.
you walk up to NPCs and a thought bubble of a kinstone slowly appears above their head, far too slowly. In fact, you need to snuggle up to them, and the moment the first of the 4 fucking thought bubble things appear on them, you need to hit that button. So you're not there all day. And then it's like, oh, you want to fuse kinstones? Well, here's the half I have. Do you have a matching half? And I think there's 9 different varieties that they could have. And when you fuse them, it makes a chest appear somewhere in the overworld, or opens a door somewhere in the overworld, or summons a special enemy that drops a lot of money in the overworld.
Whoa.
And this is where a lot of your heart pieces come from.
Oh, of course.
Okay, like this is a button, and if you push it, you get 100 rupees, but someone somewhere dies.
And some of them you need to do to progress. Some of them are mandatory.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's not great. It also has, you know how Link's Awakening had the secret shells, and you get them all, and you get a prize of like 20.
Yeah.
This
was
game has
cool.
mysterious shells, which are the worst mechanic in any Zelda game ever.
We just
Luckily,
went
you
over
do
that
not-
boss battle
luckily-
in
Yeah,
Twilight.
like, what the fuck?
Luckily, you do not have to interact with them at all unless you want max health, because there's a heart piece gated at the end of it. But that's it. But here's how it works.
Mhm.
There's a shop in Hyrule Castle Town where it's like, I run the gachapon machine with figures. There's 130 figures. It works like Smash Melee's trophy gachapon, where the more you put in, the better your chances of getting a new one. If you get all 130, I'll give you a fucking heart piece, or unlock the way to a heart piece.
No.
come on.
At that point, you need to give me a spell.
It takes around 20 seconds to pull the gachapon once.
Oh no!
There's 130 of these figures.
No.
There is not enough shells in chests and through side quests to get you all of the figures, no matter, unless you're unbelievably lucky. Which means at some point you're gonna go out and be chopping the fucking grass, hoping shells pop out. And some people have told me, like, yeah, if you want this, it's like 15 hours of grinding.
Why is he telling me any of this? Fuck you! I'm still going into Minish Cap optimistic.
At least that's just one section of Minish Cap, which is disgusting.
No, it's in fact
It is one entirely optional thing that you only have to do if you want the maximum possible health.
The entire game's plot is wrapped around this. It's like the water cooler. Everyone in Hyrule gathers around as you keep drawing the gacha.
The game has pretty interesting items. They don't go with any of the staples, at least not for dungeon items.
Mhm.
Oh, that's always kind of
Like-
fun.
Like you get this staff that just flips things over.
Hmm.
And a thing, and that opens a lot of areas, because what you do is sometimes in towns or houses, there'll be these really big pots,
Mhm.
just like a giant version of a Zelda pot, and you flip it, and now it becomes a portal to let you shrink, because you can only shrink at portals, which are just a thing with a big hole and a small hole. Like you go through the big hole and come out the small hole, or do the reverse. And here's incredibly important information for playing the Minish Cap. Do not play without what I'm about to tell you. So when you shrink, it's like a 10-second animation of the hat like casting a spell, and you shrink. If you tap the shrink button a second time during it, it instantly skips it.
That's nice.
I was stunned that existed in the Game Boy game for a Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah.
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 Especially since like the spell isn't the part that's even bad. It's that almost all the time it's like you get a little tiny cutscene of shrunken Link inside the portal, which is like usually a tree stump or an inverse pot or a boulder with a crack in it or something. And then like he falls down, bounces off something, and then leaves. And that's all it is. And you get it every single time unless you mash the skip button. But you get these mole mitts that let Link dig around through soft ground. You get like a jug that sucks in air.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You actually get something similar in Skyward, I believe.
Cool.
Which is used for a really bad gameplay segment where it's like You're on a raft. Control it by doing gusts of wind.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good.
The shrinking sure doesn't really matter at all.
Really?
Like, it's just, okay, I see the portal. Okay, I have to shrink and go the one way you can go when it's shrunk, because it gates you real hard when you're shrunk. It's like, because it's like any change in the like the ground you can't walk over because you're too small. So it's like whenever you shrink, there's really only one path to take, and at the end of the path is progress.
Someone out there's just losing their mind at all times. Link's really small. Wow, look at this. It looks huge, but I'm going to turn normal size again, and this will be, in fact, small.
I wonder where Midna is.
Someone's drawn that. Someone has drawn that.
Course. Yeah, of course. Someone's drawn everything.
Yes. Why do we need machine learning, like AI generated art? Everyone's drawn everything already.
But this game does include a thing that I don't think any other Zelda game gives you, which I think is an incredible upgrade that every Zelda game should have had.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that teaches Link sword techniques, and of course he teaches you like the spin slash, of course. He also teaches you like, okay, you break rocks and pots with your sword now.
Oh my
you don't
god!
have to pick them up and throw them. You just cut through that shit.
Something. One of the Zeldas before that did that too. It might have been Oracle's.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're just like, you got
That
a better
makes
sword,
sense.
it can break rocks.
Oh my, yeah.
I swear one of them did that.
That's a really great idea.
Yeah, it is.
Now I'm remembering when we unlocked the final skill into Twilight Princess, and it was
Yeah.
it was this spin attack.
Spin attack, but betterer, and we're like, come on.
It looks
So a lot
so
of times
bad.
a lot of times playing this, I was like, maybe they should get this guy to do a Zelda game again. He seems pretty good, like the director. And then I'm like, oh, he's the director of both Breath of the Wilds.
Oh my god!
Yep,
Wow, I figured he was someone at Capcom.
he was.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
So he just
this is like kind of an open secret in the gaming industry apparently, but everybody fucking hates working with Nintendo, like doing collaborations with Nintendo, because they'll just steal your fucking people.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
it's
you're
true.
pretty good. Come over here.
wow.
Like insiders have been like, yeah, Sega has had a talent problem for a while because of those fucking Mario versus Sonic games, and every one of those Nintendo's just like, we'll take that. We'll take that.
And in Japan, that is even worse than it comes off as over here. That's funny as shit.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, someone found like, yeah, here's like the credit lists of one of those games, and here's all the people that went from there directly to Mario Odyssey.
Yep. Wonder how their games are so good.
Mysteries.
Surprise! The Japanese game developer almost attached at the hip to the fucking Yakuza has some scummy business practices.
More at 11.
The company where it's a rumor that the mafia killed Gunpei Yokoi because the Virtual Boy failed has some bad business practices.
Holy shit.
Because
my
he
God.
died in a car wreck like a year after the Virtual Boy folded.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
So there were rumors. It's like it was the Yakuza. They were pissed.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna clear. It's definitely not gonna clear Link to the Past or Link's Awakening for me. But it does
Okay.
have improvements in other areas, and it's definitely worth playing.
Yeah, I know it's been
Just,
one of those
man,
I've been
that-
excited to play for quite a while.
That Kinstone fusion is kind of a bad idea.
That seems like very intentionally. This is a quest to make your brain feel good that you did literally everything in this game, you Zelda freak.
It's weird because it sounds kind of like something you do for like a link cable with real people.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like, oh, you have this Kinstone, trade with your friend.
Right.
But you said this was necessary for progress, right?
Once or twice
Yeah.
doing it unlocks progress.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that seems a little weird.
Luckily,
Right.
they seemed. I think they color code it like green is just bullshit. Like it'll give you a bunch of money, and then blue I think will give you more substantial things, and then I think red is what is the few that are required are red. I think that's how it works. They also do a thing that compared to Link's Awakening where they find a way to put a bunch of stuff on the same button. Like you charging your sword like works with different mechanics that are in the game world. Like there's these panels where there'll be a bunch of panels and you charge your sword and step on one and it creates like a shadow clone of Link, and then you step on another one of the same panels and it gets locked in and you both move at once, and there's puzzles like get around this maze because if it touches a wall it dies.
It's pretty good.
Like use that to hit switches.
Sure, these hats. I hate that Petty Arcade comic about Heavenly Sword. Throw these hats at gongs and then throw these gongs at hats. It's forever stuck in my head of terrible puzzle design.
Yeah, the game has pretty good puzzle design. I wasn't just baffled at any point except for one point, which is because this game really likes walls that aren't marked that you can bomb through. And they do signpost it. They do signpost it by putting like pots on both sides of where you bomb. But sometimes I'm just like, why'd they put 2 pots there? Oh, and walk right past it. Well, where am I supposed to go in this dungeon? I've been wandering in a circle for 3 hours.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Got to turn your Korok seed brain on.
God, that reminds me of that final dungeon in Twilight Princess was like, you need to look up one last time.
Yeah, that's where I quit playing Twilight Princess. That's where I just stopped playing it.
And there were multiple people in chat too who were like, same.
Yeah, it's totally fair. They don't do any sort of like camera shows you thing. Nothing. You just fall, and you got the boss key, and you fall, and it's like, well, we're back to the square one. Obviously, now I can just go beat the. What do you mean that's not on? What did I miss?
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Then I was like, man, fuck this. I have Wii Sports.
The best part
That
is
game's really cool.
I get back from the gas station. I'm like, okay, we're going to systematically check this temple that Bob just beat to find this switch to do this. So I go check the East Wing. There's fucking nothing. I go check the West Wing, and halfway through that, accidentally quit to the title screen. So then I have to restart going in for the entrance, and I look up and go, it's right fucking there. That was so perfect. I fucked up at even deliberately checking each room in the temple.
Yes, it was rough.
But technically, that helped me speedrun it.
Technically.
It's interesting to me that this does do like the Wind Waker Twilight Princess thing of like there's huge chunks of time between dungeons.
Huh.
Like you're doing all kinds of shit before you get into each dungeon because I think there's only 4.
Weird. What?
Yeah, for a 2D one, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Didn't Link's Awakening have like 6?
I think Link's Awakening has 8, and I think like Link to the Past has 11.
Yeah, Link to the Past has a ton, which is why all these 3D Zeldas look like wusses. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you have...
Ocarina, which also has 8. Like a Chad.
No, Ocarina is fine. I think it has like 1 or 2 fewer than Link, but that's fine because it's 3D in a revolutionary game. Like in no world am I like, what the fuck's up with you? It could have used more raising and lowering water levels.
I really thought that the villain of Minish Cap, Vadi, would have more buildup, but he really just teleports in and is like, I'm the villain of this game. And starts the plot.
I feel like the Oracle games did the same thing, but I haven't played them forever, so maybe.
Oracle Ages is just like these witches did an evil thing and there was a tower, and now you're going back in time to when the tower was the thing, and that's yep. And then you beat the game, and they're like Twin Rova? Question mark?
Aren't the witches in that game just the witches from Ocarina that are the boss of the Spirit Temple, or not the Spirit Temple? Because
yes,
yeah.
Ongo Bongo is the boss of the Spirit Temple, right?
No, he's Shadow Temple.
Okay. That boss, the Nintendo boss, which is what I'm just gonna call it, of the face and 2 hands, is also a boss in Minish Cap.
Of course.
Yeah, which it makes sense to call it the Nintendo boss because Kirby Superstar has that same guy.
Mario 64 has that guy.
Yeah, he's a popular guy.
They're like, hey, check this out. 2 hands, but also a face. Like, oh cool.
Man, are you gonna
Scary.
slam your fist on the ground and make a shockwave I have to jump over? Oh man, I better watch out.
Oh, also Andros.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it's
Oh,
everywhere.
you're gonna
Classic.
clap your hands, and I have to avoid getting clapped between your hands. Oh boy, fucking shifting the paradigm here. I feel like I'm starting to shift into being fucking Justin Roiland. Oh geez, you're real fucking original. You're gonna slap the ground and make
Here's the thing. You wouldn't be that Justin Roiland voice, though. You'd be a different one. You'd probably be Rick. You'd probably just be like, oh, that's really fucking great.
Morty. Oh, I gotta jump over these fucking shockwaves, Morty.
Oh, this is fucking blowing my mind. He's clapping now. That's the one that would do it. God. You know, I wanted to bring this up here and now because I don't think it's ever come up on content. Aggro's like a huge fan of Ocarina. We literally, like, the fan base has no idea if Aggro has any opinions on Zelda or has even fucking played it.
Right.
Like, in their brain, because fandoms are weird, they were probably just sitting there like, child Aggro probably played Myst. And then when presented with Ocarina, he's like, what is this, Myst for babies with combat?
That is not true. I distinctly remember multiple times Aggro has said things to the effect of, oh, that's one of those games I considered renting before I rented Ocarina again.
Yes, that is my entire relationship to the Fire Emblem series.
I'm really scared because I do want to play eventually. I've been like, okay, I have beaten every Zelda game.
Yeah.
I'm really scared that it's gonna be like, yeah, Ocarina of Time's just the best one. What fuck you want out of me? Surprise, water is wet.
I'm a big fan of 2D superiority, so I love Ocarina, I really do, but there's something about Link to the Past I can't quite give up. Like, I don't know, hitting a specific quadrant because they didn't do the animation, right?
Link to the Past is like beautiful in its simplicity, where it's like, yeah, we don't really have like characters for you to interact with yet. You're just, it's like the original Zelda, but like super original Zelda.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's the blacksmiths. There's that guy in that weird hole that's like an imp that tries to curse you and fucks it up. There's Blind the Thief. What a cool dude. There are plenty of amazing characters. What about the sages?
There's the Deku Scrubs in Minish Cap, and they're really funny to interact with because they sell you things. They're merchant Deku Scrubs. But they won't sell you things until you reflect one of their projectiles back into their face. So it just feels like Link is just running up and hitting them between the eyes and being like, here's some fucking money, give me the thing.
Yeah. Didn't Ocarina do that exact thing?
Either that or Majora's.
I'm pretty sure
they do in Ocarina. If you hit them back with the nut, they'll offer to sell you one thing, which is usually better than you can buy it in other shops.
I really appreciate someone in chat trying their best to spell Sahasrara, which is understandably difficult.
Yeah, that's a mess of a name.
Sages all need to have complicated names like that. If I remember correctly, you go to the Dark World and Link to the Past. Spoilers. The eighth maiden's like, I'm Zelda, duh. I'm just like, that makes sense.
Oh.
Yo, you're a fucking legend. And she's like, yes.
I always Link to the Past. I always remember the Nintendo Power manga where it has that dude who just turns into a hawk for no reason. It's like, we need another character other than Link.
Yeah.
Here's this dude that just, and because I think it was an artist who worked on Cyborg 009. He's like, yeah, it's just one of those characters, but in armor. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Minish Cap, and that's all I really played.
I forgot one important game to talk about.
Yeah.
I beat Gran Turismo 7 this week.
Oh, yeah. You finally did that.
I was only 8 races away from the end. 5 of those are in one world tour.
Of course.
I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I beat this? I booted it up because they added a 120 frames per second mode, and after having played it in PSVR 2, I'm playing it in the 120 frames per second mode, and I'm like, yo, this looks the fucking same as it did originally. I've been in the car. This doesn't hit the same. But that game's gorgeous. The HDR in that game, absolutely amazing. Like, everything, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I kind of wanted to come to PC so I could see it like 4K 120.
Fair.
Whew, that'd be nice. But, yeah, I know I did enough for the game. I'm gonna say spoilers on Game of the Year is absolutely okay because we're in April.
Right.
I did enough for the game by giving it my Game of the Year, but I swear that is not enough lip service to that game. What an amazing one of those. Good luck making another, Sony. Good luck competing with that Forza. Absolutely amazing experience. I loved it so much. And the fact there are more menus after you beat the game, that you could just go do any of them.
Yeah, I have to assume they're just going to keep updating this game for the whole lifespan of the PS5.
The weird thing is the way they talked about it sounded like they moved on to something else. Yeah, it sounded like they're making a different game. And I'm like, oh, tourist trophy?
That would be really cool.
That would be hype as shit, especially in VR. I'm screaming.
Yeah. Oh,
You
man.
thought being in a car going 180 was fucking scary? Let me introduce you to being on a motorcycle and going any speed.
I feel like Tourist Trophy did not have enough motorcycles.
Really?
Like, I for some reason, I remember that. Like, they didn't
that
have
game's
enough.
nothing but motorcycles.
Oh, yeah. It's only motorcycles, but I thought, like, they did not have enough
different motorcycles. Okay. I was like, everyone racing is in a motorcycle.
Right,
There is no more slots.
So I have to assume either I'm remembering wrong, they did license a lot of stuff, or if they come back to it, that they will fix that and they will get a lot of licenses and get a bunch of different brands, because I'd love to see that.
Maybe I'm deranged, but I'm kind of sitting here. I'm like, you know what? Let Polyphony try to take on the multiple vehicle genre, because a lot of people have tried it. I'm really interested in how that would go, or even try to do something really different and try to make an open world game for once.
Yeah, they could do their own Horizon sort of deal.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking more of Burnout Paradise, but yes, like Horizon, they should try their. I guess the reason I was thinking Burnout rather than Horizon is Horizon's all about these giant empty vistas. Like a lot of it is empty.
Yeah.
Whereas I was thinking a city or a place with shit in it.
It would be really cool to see them approach it, because they would bring like a layer of class.
Right.
It would make it enjoyable, whereas
they have a
it's
different angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the...
Forza Horizon's just a fucking Ubisoft game.
It is. Like, it's set in some weird party universe.
Everyone isn't a Zoomer. They're the corporate idea of a Zoomer.
Right.
That's what...
It's like the weird dark version of a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to call them Juggalos, but it was like, no, that has more soul.
Yeah, Juggalos have nothing but soul.
Right?
Sometimes their
Some
soul
might
gets out
say
of
they
control.
have too much soul.
Exactly.
Right.
That's where I was heading to. But yeah, I would love to see that. So I'm excited for what Polyphony does next, because this game, oh man, even just talking about technologically, we dealt with every Gran Turismo since 3 just taking forever to load and having nightmare UI in a sense, and all these downsides, countless downsides. And then this one's just like, hey, I fixed all of those and I have a really great structure for my single player. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't even have hoped for something as good as you to roll around. Holy crap. So hopefully, the next game isn't just directly another Gran Turismo. I really hope it's a tourist trophy or an open world thing or a multiple vehicle type thing. Like, technically MotorStorm was another attempt at the multiple vehicle thing. I would really love to see that. Anyways, Gran Turismo 7 is a great game, and I'm going to, because I can't talk about it without saying this, I'm going to say for the fucking 20th time probably, everyone who pissed and moaned about microtransactions at launch is a fucking moron. Anyways, with that done, I think that's all the games. Hey, Bob, what do you got going on in the next week? Obviously, we're done with big... Oh, wait, the Pod Lords!
Where'd they come from?
That's a different song. One second. The Pod Lords!
Oh, I'm relieved now.
Oh, it's so soothing, these Pod Lords.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Get a little Pod Lord action.
If they don't remix this for the new game, I'll be upset.
Oh, yeah, if there's not an Armored Core Nexus remix theme or Shape Memory Alloys remix theme, I'm gonna be upset. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be mad. Especially if they don't get Kota Hoshino back to music. Anyways, they're the Pod Lords! Pod Lords such as... Whoosh. Oh, that's not. Pod Lords!
Oh, fuck!
Pod Lords such as E. Lee Broyles. Finally, it's happening. BN12. Red Blaze 27. Suzu Shiro. Shibuya Gato. She is intimidated by the enormity of the world.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF Spider-Man. A Draco wondering when their motherboard will come back from the war.
Oh no.
Human shit. Bob,
Yeah.
do you know who that is?
No clue.
You do, but you don't recognize them.
Great.
It's man.
Yeah, it's weird that he just like morphed into like they fused him with Walt Disney.
Yeah, like why does he have that mustache?
Yeah, he got the
There's no
mustache.
good reason for it.
Sonic in Family Guy death pose was also my favorite part of April Fool's Day.
Fair.
DFW 3K. Muttbun. Shiny Mew. Kristen. Kyle Bjork. Lord Biffo comes for you. Praise be to the Beano. Iron Aggro. Blig the Blue Schlig this Poo. Monster Hunter. Ryzen and Raiden. Cooper Tank. Fun fact, in the Filipino dub of Yu Yu Hakusho, the main character is named Eugene. Oh my god. I love shit like that.
Fuck, that's so good somehow.
Neko Norn. Nyan Senobite.
What the fuck is this? Is this some shit from Magic the Gathering?
Oh.
Indigo Sykes. Drive Typecast. You know what they say about big feet. Turns out Nessie's is bigger. Congratulations to Team Shiver on the Splatfest. Check out my sweet turtle. She's a mood. I've seen Tosh make that exact face.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
A raccoon that really hates daylight savings.
Fair.
Shinji16 and DPS Kun want to remind you that you matter, you are valid, and you deserve to be happy while punching Republicans.
Speak that truth.
The Super Mim. We're traveling across Soul Society to find the afterlife's finest plotting projects and plans. Oh my
God damn it.
Oh my
So
god.
good! It
God
works so
damn
good!
it.
That works
You
too
fucking maestro.
It's so good!
Kari, after 2 years in the human world.
He changed.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I need that on a poster. Yeah. Sarah Lean. Timothy Pfister's bank account, seeing the Battlefield Network Legacy Collection, Advance Wars, and Final Fantasy Pixel remasters drop within the span of 1 week.
Oh, that's rough.
Get wrecked, scrub.
I'm above buying the collection of games 30 years old. I'll buy the collection of games 20 years old, thank you. What do you mean there are two?
I'll buy the 20-year-old collection of games that doesn't have Aaron Hansen in it.
Wait, oh no, oh no, oh no. Is there voice acting in Advance Wars and he's in it?
Mm-hmm.
No. Why?
I think he's Max.
Why? No. Not disgusting.
Oh man, you... I should have never learned this. This is upsetting. Why did you do this in Podlords? Anyways. Bearded Joe. Pleochrome. Krungle Spum. Zooming in a little bit on accident.
My favorite podline.
Boy, I sure love interest rates getting so bad that renting is my best option for another year.
great.
That part's bad, but consider interest rates getting bad means every company is now burning to the ground because they all got used to money not being real.
It's neat. Wishing everyone a happy Dingus Day this Monday. May your women be soaked and spanked with pussy willow branches. Sorry, apparently no one in the podcast is celebrating. There's no fucking way Midna's design was an accident. That shit was 100% intentional.
Yeah, I remember that video that was like one of the first AI voice things.
Yeah.
It was kind of like shit.
Yeah. Aggro talking about Lords of the Fallen, the new one, made me think, what if they were all just called Final Fantasy? No number.
Oh, God. Chaos timeline.
It's unhinged.
There is no such thing as freaking hockey men. That is just a cope made by people with agendas.
But the Renegon lets me see through agendas.
And slightly above average. Thank you very much to our podlords.
Thank you, Pod Lord.
Thank you, podlords!
Thank you, Pod
Thank you,
Lords.
Pod Lords. If you'd like to become,
Thank you, podlords.
and if you'd like, and if you'd like to become a podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Pokemon Go to the Movies, our 2 monthly anime review podcasts. You also get extended content from other things we do when indeed such content exists for you to be given. You also get a patron exclusive show 1 a month wherein you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. And if it's a bad thing, you also get a commentary track for that thing, which are not released publicly, meaning you have a big backlog of content. If you give to the Patreon for the first time, you also get access to a film. This is not a joke or a bit or comedy. You get access to a film called Isolation 1 Night. It is the only place on the internet you can get access to this film. It is a delightful movie about a man trying to get a tax write-off and possibly solving a mystery. He doesn't really focus too hard on that one.
Yeah, don't want to stress yourself out solving the mystery of, is my brother dead?
But that is patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, it always helps immensely to tell your friends. Rate us on Thursdays before Twitch removes that feature. Rate us on your podcast app of choice. Or like this video on YouTube if you're watching that way right now.
Please.
Yeah.
We're begging.
That is patreon.com/gbpodcasts.
GB Podcasts. It's in the game. We got news. I like how I have,
That's a
I have
question,
like,
I
I have
guess.
like a sassy teenage girl energy to that. Ugh, we have news. You like news? Why do we not have a news jingle?
I don't know, man. No.
Yeah, that one's taken. 1 second. We need to. Oh, I know. Here's okay, everyone. We're just gonna try this out for 1 week. Here's our new. This is. You all need to be excited for news. Yeah, news is pretty fucking epic, you guys. But that's all you get to listen to.
Yeah, I worry that that's stolen from someone who will come for us.
Well, I mean, they can't come for us for the stolen version. Don't worry, Budokai soundtrack is safe. It can't hurt you.
It's got 2 layers of being stolen, so it's
true.
now safe.
We're safe. It's double jeopardy. That's how that works. We're gonna start off. Oh man, there's actually news I really want to talk about in every direction, but I'm a greedy boy. Okay,
All right.
Bob, tell them about the arc paradigm. Because Bob and I finally finished the Resident Evil 4 force feedback video. Every time I go to say that name, I'm so close to saying Forspoken.
I also almost always expect it.
We really shouldn't have made the first episode about that. I have to stay up a day straight to fix my sleep schedule. And as I'm playing Mario 64 and my brain is dying, Bob tries to explain to me for, I don't know, 10 minutes straight how insanely fucked this situation is with Arc 1. Not even 2. Well, technically also.
Yes.
But let's go. Bob?
All right, to preface this, Arc 2 was delayed until late 2024.
which means
It was supposed to be this year,
which
just so we're
means
clear.
not at all 2024 if you have a functioning brain and pattern recognition.
Yes. All right. Just get that in your head and remember that. We're about
Okay.
to go into what's happening to Ark Survival Evolved.
You know, Dino game came out something like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 7, actually.
It's
yeah.
been a while.
It was
has.
longer than that, I think.
Yeah.
It will now. It is being replaced by Ark Survival Ascended, which is going to be on PS5, Xbox Series systems, and PC.
That name's sending me. I'm sorry. So Ark Survival Ascended is on next gen, as in current gen, consoles and PC.
Yes, it
Okay.
comes out in August.
Okay.
When it releases, they are shutting down all the servers for Survival Evolved.
No.
That doesn't mean you can no longer play that game, but that does mean there is no longer any official servers to play on. So you can make your
Got
own
it.
single player game, or you can join an unofficial server.
I can't do that on a console, can I?
I don't think so, but maybe.
Cool. Great. Awesome. So I wonder what even happens to the Switch owners or any last gen people. I guess they're
assume they
just SOL.
Yeah, I assume they just can't play online anymore. Maybe there is a server browser. It's unclear.
So let's say
Well, this is fine as long as this new upgrade's free. It is free, right, Bob?
Well, that's funny, Chris. This new upgrade was teased as being free a few months ago by the co-founder of the studio.
and still is today. Wow, Bob, way to frame a positive. They could have taken this opportunity to do some absolute ass backwards horse shit to the consumer.
Yeah, that's like the opposite of the cop voice that journalists use, like even more extreme than the passive voice. It's like the reverse of that, where it's as aggressive as possible for no reason.
So on Xbox and on PC, you can buy this for $50.
What are you... this is just the first game.
This is the first game, yes.
No, that is a bundle.
It is a bundle with 2 when that comes out.
So for $50, I get the game I already own, but the servers work, and Ark 2.
And then since the Xbox signed a deal with them, on the PS5, you can buy the game alone because Ark 2 is not coming to the PS5, and that will be $40.
$40 for this game you already
go fuck
own.
yourself.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's like
this is the worst case. Even the control thing, which was a disaster for them, is still better than this. Just fucking chase off your entire fucking audience, you dipshits. It's not like you're in the most overcrowded genre to have ever existed.
So here's the best thing.
Look, these freeloaders have been playing this game for long enough. It's high time they bought it again.
Oh, okay, Aggro. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, this literally comes off as a retro gaming YouTuber's like cynical, games are so bad now that everyone does this. And they say something insane that no one has ever done. Well, now it's real.
right, and I've not even gotten to the part that I think is probably the craziest.
We'll go right ahead.
That is the base game. It does not come with the expansions they already made for the original game. They want you to buy those again.
This is unhinged.
They're $20 a piece for 2 different passes, like 2 different sets of expansions.
So if you're lucky enough to be on Xbox or PC, you can pay a measly $90.
Yeah.
Tax, that's the content you probably already own as an Ark fan.
And it's not even all out in August. 1 expansion is out in August. you have to pay for the ones that come out for an entire year after that. It's
Speechless.
It seems like this is like you were saying.
So here's
handled in the worst way
my
possible.
prediction. Here's my prediction. Everybody who plays on PC will just be like, "Fuck you! I'm playing on unofficial servers, continuing to use the game I own."
Yep.
And nobody on consoles will upgrade.
Probably.
This is the UE5 version. It's gonna look real nice.
Yeah, this is using Unreal Engine 5, you guys. Isn't that worth it?
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Is it going to be as brutally unoptimized as Ark was when it originally launched?
Almost definitely. This shit's gonna just use the built-in like Lumen shit. It's not even gonna be software mode. So it's gonna run at like 20. It's gonna run like that Matrix tech demo.
The funny the horrible thing is that it feels like this whole thing, like this whole project, feels like it's them getting ready to make a full work for Unreal or Arc 2,
right?
Which is on Unreal 5,
which is totally gonna ship at the end of next year. Shut up. We don't have the expansions ready. They came out years ago for this horrible, like, bleeding you for money re-release of the original, but the new game is going to be ready by the end of next year.
and there'll be content in it. Absolutely happening.
I would go ahead and take this moment to be like, hey guys, you know how Ark is also one of those smaller games that blew up insanely, made a shitload of money, and then got Vin Diesel to sign for the sequel?
Mm-hmm.
That sure seems like a classic story we've seen too many times of a thing that didn't know how to manage success and really didn't plan for it at all, doing really well for the first game and then just fucking up hardcore.
Yeah, this really does reek of, oh, you ran out of money trying to make Arc 2, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which is insane that this is their answer, not being
It's
like,
insane
what if we
that-
make more expansions?
It's insane that the people who made Ark could run out of money.
Yes. Oh,
It's amazing how, like, as you know, Math is saying in the chat, success absolutely can ruin a motherfucker.
yeah.
Something tells me Ark as a thing might be in a better position right now if it did less well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a little less well, even. Not less well enough for them not to sign Vin Diesel and get an animated series made.
Yeah, maybe that really does sound like the arc of this game was like the arc.
Clap.
Oh fuck! The video essay starts now.
The arc of this game was like, okay, we're gonna make $1 billion trillion with Arc 2. We're gonna get Vin Diesel, where he's gonna be in this game. We're gonna make this TV show. Oh, our fucking money's gone. We weren't as smart as we thought we were.
Your ass is getting John Goodman and fucking raged. Get out of this fucking game in the first 2 hours, you fat sack of shit. We don't have that much money.
How did this is like the only game Microsoft signed as exclusivity? And how did they end up getting the one like all of their games where it's just a CG trailer and clearly a giant empty house?
Because they have no idea what running a good studio looks like, and they have terrible taste. So anyways, you now know the Ark Survival Ascended paradigm. Please be excited when it releases in August, and Ark 2 comes out at the end of 2024.
At least we have a candidate for most likely to be delayed now.
Right.
Candidate, it's gonna have to sponsor the category. Anyway, Bob, let's go ahead and get through your other news.
Sure. We got the date for Gamescom opening live.
Weird that they would yell about that immediately as the ESA goes, oh, I'm dead.
Yes. So this is Jeff Keighley's second show in the summer, because there's also
Summer Game
Fest. But this is the one at the end of the summer, August 22nd for Gamescom.
I'm sorry. There was a bit on Jeff Gersman's show where one of the chat members is like, Summer Games Fest always came off as an ad. And he's like, what the fuck do you think E3 is?
Yeah, all of these are ads, but they're for stuff we like.
Yeah, but I like those ads. These ads are scummy. Oh, man. Imagine being such a weird chat member too podcaster making fun of you. Anyways, that's cool, Bob. That'll team up very nice. I'll play Ark Survival Ascended at the same time as I'm watching Opening Night Live, but not with all my content.
They just said August. They didn't even give a date, which seems crazy. It's like you can't even nail down the day in August you're releasing that. I don't even believe you're releasing it now.
They're like, of course we can't nail that down. That's 5 months from now. Then someone's like, actually it's 4. And they're like, oh shit, maybe it's not August.
We also had PlayStation handheld rumors come out this week.
I will bite my tongue until you finish saying the words.
So Tom Henderson reported this.
Mm-hmm.
It's codenamed Q Lite and focuses on remote play. And it's going to come out sometime between that PS5 with the detachable disk drive and the PS5 Pro. If any
Now,
of these things are real.
Worth noting, I'm pretty sure Tom Henderson is the source on both of those.
Yeah.
Meaning, my theory I floated the last time this came up of they're giving him bad info to out the leak might be true. This is the funniest case of that ever. It's just like,
So-
this dumb motherfucker announced 3 different things that seemed ludicrous, and he just kept saying it.
I hope this is real
Yeah.
Okay.
because it's a fucking terrible, stupid idea, and Sony needs a black eye bad.
Right?
This would
Like,
this
I'm-
thing would just eat shit immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it sounds smart. I'm saying it sounds like Sony would do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've gotten a little bit too smug because look at their competition.
Yeah.
And this kind of thing is exactly like, yes, please ship a product that your product, like, this is their version of like the Sega CD. Or it's even dumber than the Sega CD. It's like the Sega CD 32. It's like, you gave us a bunch of money, now give us even more money for something that sucks.
Well, people kept saying that the Series S was a really good thing for the bedroom. Who knows why, but they kept saying it, and Sony's like, well, what if we made a remote play portable?
You'd think they'd see these other cloud portables come out and just explode like immediately and be like, we don't need to get in that space. That's
that
not
was
real.
their bad, inherently doomed idea, unlike our immaculate, perfect idea that is guaranteed to succeed.
Because we have a good brand, and their brand's bad brand.
It's like we have sadly come to learn doing this podcast. No company will learn from the failure of another company. They themselves must fail at the same thing.
Or hire Phil Harrison. These are the only 2 options. They're
Wait,
both
then
dead.
fail at the same thing.
Well, let's be real. You can. You don't have to accept the title of "We failed at doing a thing" if Phil Harrison's there, because you could just go, the bog witch is cursed and did it again.
Yeah, we got the guy that everything he touches turns to ash. Like, why'd you get that guy? And then they're just like,
I don't know. He talked about PlayStation Home and it seemed pretty cool. Oh my god.
Like, how do you be responsible for the PS3 launch, the Xbox One launch, and then Stadia? Like, that's 3 strikes, you're out. Get out of the industry. You're done. It's over. Go be annoying, more wealthy than any of us will ever be somewhere where we don't have to perceive you, ever.
So on this PlayStation thing,
Yeah.
if you look at the Steam Deck and then the successors, the market successors and competitors to the Steam Deck, you can see that we're getting PS4 Plus level performance out of these now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wonder if Sony could realize and engineer a way to play like PS4 games on a portable, because I think there's a lot of value in that specifically.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
That could be amazing, and I think a lot of people would be interested. And since it couldn't accept discs, it would have to be a digital only platform.
Mm-hmm.
But
Maybe it could even do something that is a little bit more sensible, and it's like, it can pair with your console, so if you own the disc, we'll let you download the game onto this.
That becomes a weird digital rights thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's too kind for Sony. I feel like someone else would have done that around 2001 with something at some point, but I don't know if Sony would do that nowadays. But I think it absolutely would make sense for them to try to do something like that. So, of course, they're doing this remote play portable.
Yeah, it's like what we did the PlayStation Now version that no one wants.
And it's like, don't you have Matrix from PlayStation Now proving no one wants this? And they're like, shut up.
You'll want it when I sell you this thing.
How many people use a remote play right now? Shut up.
I haven't
Shut
even
your
got
mouth.
We according to our statistics, some guy in Niceville, Florida uses it to play Octopath Traveler 2 and nobody else in human history.
That's
And
why
also
my
some
ping's
guy's
so
still playing
good.
Layer.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I don't know. The last time I used remote play, it was on
I was playing Blaze Blue from a city away from my PS3, and I was like, you know what? Pretty nice. All things considered, this is working out okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Henderson's giving us the most insane scoops of Sony's insanity.
Right.
Because the weird separated disc drive PS5 is already like hilarious in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
Which to date, I'm still just like, so do you even sell 2 SKUs anymore? Do you just sell one and then say buy the disc drive separately?
I don't know.
Because it would save shelf space if they just sold the disc drive separate, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because enough people would be dumb enough to just be like, I got the digital one and don't care. I say dumb because they would regret it later.
Yeah,
just to be clear. I don't know. I still think the Pro's stupid, and I still don't believe that. They will literally have to announce a Pro.
Yeah,
or hard
I'm
details.
just like, what? With the PS4 Pro, that actually gave a pretty big performance boost because the PS4 was a potato.
Yeah.
And it also gave you HDR.
It gave you proper HDR because remember, the vanilla PS4 can do HDR. It is just the most retro engineered shit, and it has obvious banding and looks bad, but it gave you real HDR and 4K output.
Yeah.
Unless Sony's going to be like, yeah, we're going to force every game to have 120 FPS mode that uses this fucking PS4 Pro. Like, which they're not, so there's no reason for it to exist.
And here's the thing, most games are for like the 120 frames per second mode are CPU limited, not GPU. And every day I just go, how are you going to solve that? These CPUs are good. Like, you can make them better, sure, but it won't be the easiest thing. So yeah, the Pro to date still just makes you go, what? These are like the strongest consoles we've had since 2005. What do you mean?
And that detachable disc thing... That detachable disc thing just sounds like something cooked up to trick a leaker.
It does sound really
like
all three of these sound like, let's see if he says it. Man, this guy did it again.
It has this thread of logic to it of it's like, okay, Sony's tired of making 2 different models of PS5. Instead of just no longer making the digital one, which would be the correct option, they now want to make, instead of shipping you a PS5 with a disc drive, they ship you the same one with the addition of this thing that will attach onto it like a tumor.
I hope the idea is its design really makes that work. Like, even better than the current stand attaches. Like, it literally needs to feel like sliding in a compartment. It goes ka-shunk. Right?
Right. That's the only way that sort of thing would be acceptable at all. Because otherwise it would just be hideous and no one would watch it.
And it would make a terrible sound as it spins the disc.
Yeah.
Which the PS5 does sporadically.
Yes, it does.
This really does feel fake because there was that rumor of Microsoft supposedly doing this for the Series S. Like they were going to release a detachable disc drive for the Series S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this feels like an offshoot of that's like they're going to, in case you're a fucking idiot who's like, I want an all digital console. Oh shit. I now realize my hubris. I'm fucked. That you will be able to correct your hubris.
Yeah, the only way I can see that really working out in someone's advantage is like maybe they can't afford, you know, because back in the day, they used to sell you the memory card separately to save money on manufacturing the console. Then you had to pay the extra for the memory card down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now we save games on the system. This could be kind of like that, where it's like, oh, well, I can only afford the console at launch. We'll just get the $400 PS5, and then down the road, I'll buy the fucking disc drive. Here's the thing, though. I still need a thin PS5 that costs less than $400.
Yeah, no, I really hope
number lower.
I hope we're getting that. I really do.
Because I think these consoles are swell. I really do. If the Xbox ran an idealized OS and wasn't stupid in a number of different ways, I would say it is equally as good as a PS5. Because performance-wise, it really is. It really is. It is, in fact, better in a number of ways. Like, its variable refresh rate goes low enough where the whole idea makes sense. Because Sony's doesn't go low enough. It actually stops at, like, I'm sure chat remembers, but it stops at, like, a weirdly high number. And it's like, guys, the point was to smooth out things below 30 as well. And they're like, oh,
We didn't get that. We didn't design it. Yeah, it's like 48 or something. It's like, ooh, all of 12 frames worth of smoothing. Good job, assholes. But yeah, these are great consoles.
Yeah.
I want it in more people's hands. I don't need a pro. To be clear, when you later go, Dan, you said you didn't need a pro and you bought one.
Yeah, of course.
You're not going to own me.
Yeah, of course we'll buy it.
Yeah, I don't need a pro.
Yeah, the PS5 Pro will make anything run better, so of course I'll buy it. What? Do you think I'm stupid in a way that doesn't involve me spending $600 on something I don't need?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're playing like 99% of our games on this bastard. Of course, I want like...
Yeah, I want to play get the console that can play
the
RE4 remake with the cool hair at 60.
Right. But the thing
That's
is,
what I
like,
want.
it's a really strong system. There really is no need for that. I say this as someone who played RE4 remake on a 4090, and I had the perfect hair forever and ran at 100 frames per second in 4K. And now that I have the DLSS injection, I can actually run it even better.
God, I hope that Mercenaries update goes up tonight.
Ooh.
I hope it does.
Is it supposed to?
It's supposed to be tomorrow, but I'm hoping it just like hits the live and does it.
So fast.
I know.
So fast. I was expecting that shit to be 6 months later.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, it's out in 2 weeks. Oh, it's live for some people? Ooh.
Oh my
Here's
God.
some news. I'm ending this podcast.
What happened?
Blow it out your ass.
I guess that's probably enough of us talking about the PlayStation stuff. I can move on to Evo Japan announcements.
Ooh. Wasn't it on April Fool's again or something?
Evo Japan lined it up perfectly with
Why did-
April Fools. I don't think that happened before. I think that's this year exclusive.
I mean, Aiding did that coincidentally. No, it's not Aiding. It's the people who made Fexel.
Yes.
Who?
Fexel
Akira.
credits.
Akira, right? Or
Yeah,
Arika?
Arika.
Yeah, they absolutely did their April Fool's announcements of Fexel all those years ago.
Yes, but that's just because they're goofy and know that they had a game with Skullmania. So
All
of course.
I'm thinking about is that the Japanese fighting game scene are a bunch of jokers.
What?
That's what
No
I'm
way.
figuring out. Anyways, what they announced, Bob?
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising showed off the new character, Siegfried.
Ascended. Good. I can play this while I'm playing Ark. Is this a joke about Siegfried and Soul Calibur, or is this motherfucker's name actually
This guy's
Siegfried?
name's actually Siegfried. He's
Ooh.
a Grand Blue character. He looks pretty cool. He's got like cool Dark Knight armor, big
Ooh.
sword. So that's pretty cool. And they said that the online beta test is going to be in May.
Man, I forgot that this correct version of this game's coming out this year.
I know.
Because, man, that change.
This really is an insane year for fighting
This
games.
changes everything. You guys need to understand that single player was fucking unplayable with the load times before, and now it's going to be a PS5 game?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for this.
Yeah.
Local asshole paints manhole different color. Local idiot falls down in hole again.
Yeah, they're adding new mechanics and just should load faster because it's on PS5.
It's exciting.
So hopefully this is like a really great game now.
Yeah, we got that beta test in May.
Yeah, so we'll know in May.
We'll know in May how fast it loads.
Yes. Then there's a big block of SNK news. They announced that KOF 13, they're doing a version called Global Match, which comes to PS4 and Switch with rollback netcode, and there's no beta for that this summer.
Okay.
This is the last one of them that was 2D.
Yeah,
Like
the
this-
one that had... Did it 2D over 3D models? Was that how it was
Yeah, they
designed?
drew. It was pixel
Yeah.
art drawn over 3D models, and some of it looks hideous.
And
Great.
that still killed them because they were like, yeah, every character has half as many moves as they normally do because we're fucking dying trying to make this.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
explained how long it took to make a single one of those characters. It was nuts.
It made no sense. It was like, but it kind of looks worse than what you used to do.
Yes.
Yuri's literally a horrible goblin woman with tentacle arms.
Yeah.
How'd this happen?
Future.
Anyway, that's coming out so people can enjoy it again on PS4 and Switch.
Any idea what they're going to charge for that shit?
I don't think they said.
They're like $60. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
No way, right?
I'm seeing in chat, 13 Athena is horrendous. Oh, no. I'm going to look that up while Bob moves on.
They also showed off artwork for their new Garo / Fatal Fury game entry. They still don't have like an official title for this, But hey, they showed off artwork for Terry, Andy, and Joe Higaishi. So those are typical Fatal Fury characters. It would be weird if they weren't there, but it is a Garo game, so I guess we might not expect it. And this actually moves the timeline forward, something they are terrified to do in the King of Fighters series because they wanted to make a Fatal Fury entry. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, King of Fighters was always kind of like the dream match of all their guys, so it makes sense that they don't want to be like, yeah, Geese is just fucking dead.
Right.
Super Smash Brothers killed Luigi.
KOF 15, they said that they're adding Go Nits for free. Mates
Have at it,
Geonets.
go nuts.
He's the wind dude that was in. I
He is
forget
the
which-
wind.
Yes, he is the wind.
He is the wind.
He's got like a blue coat, and he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's the final boss of 96.
96. Okay, I could not remember which one he was from because I mainly think about him being in SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos.
Jesus.
Because he's in there. And they showed a trailer for Sylvia Paula, who is their like
What?
pop idol character they introduced in the last King of Fighters, and it's coming back in this new DLC.
Sylvia Paula?
Yeah, she looks like Pemu. What is that ambassador of like Kawaii or whatever that they made? Whatever. You can look her up. She's real goofy.
Bob's just talking about the ambassador of Kauai. What? Did he stutter?
Yeah, there it is in chat. Kairu Pamu. It's literally that, but in King of Fighters.
Yeah, she's like the fucking freak girl.
Anyways, here's Athena from 13, apparently. She looks weird. She's got like a face that looks wrong.
Yeah, she's not great. Yuri's still worse. See how she has, I don't know, shape to any part of her body. It isn't just all tentacle arms and legs. I guess her arms are pretty noodly, though.
Yeah, she's also got creepy eyes.
Yeah.
There's something about that. Anyway.
And then the last thing from Evo Japan, they showed off 2 new characters for Tekken 8. Asuka Tazama. What's up, Ekro?
Don't worry about it, Bob.
Everything's fine.
Asuka Kazama and Leroy Smith were shown, which is cool. I was kind of worried Asuka wasn't going to be in because they put in June Kazama and same or similar fighting styles. Like, well, maybe they'll just only put her in. And I'm really glad to have Leroy Smith in a game I want to play.
Why?
Because Tekken 7, he was added so late, we just didn't play it anymore.
We were like, open
Yeah, that
this
was the
tube.
point where it's like, yeah, every other game has good net code. What's your
Mhm.
fucking problem?
Yeah, I mean, for me at that point, it was like your game looks like shit and takes forever to load.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
please, God.
It really needed an update for like the next gen console, and they just never did it.
Yeah. Next gen consoles like the Xbox One X.
Yes. But yeah, that was cool. And that's all the news I got.
Oh, crap. We're going to go to Dr. Aggro for the news.
So a neat little thing happening. The PlayStation Store is adding the ability to sort and search for games. They're adding the ability for developers to tag their games based on the accessibility features that are in them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which means, you like, hey, I need games that do this. You can look at a list. Or even better, you can, this game looks cool. Does it do this specific thing that I would like? Visibility right on the store. Good shit.
Yeah.
In weirder news, so companies be out here doing R&D and pushing the boundaries of technology and
Mhm.
patenting things they might want to explore the avenues of later on.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony patented some potential future controller technology, including a controller that maybe changes temperature, which is neat.
Okay, yeah.
And also a controller that they might be able to deform, not rigid plastic, but something that could change shape.
Okay.
as you play.
Yeah, like a wrist snap, right? Like it goes around your.
See here, I'm actually looking at the patent now. Controllers used for such purposes as gaming typically include materials that are relatively difficult to deform, such as plastics. The present invention has made in the light of the above circumstances, and it is the object thereof to provide a controller capable of enriching haptic experiences. I'm just gonna go down a little bit because they're talking about a controller that not only changes shape but senses when you're interacting with the part that changes shape. The controller having this configuration is used and when the user performs the following other actions, i.e. action of touching the elastic member, action of pressing in part of the elastic member with a finger, action of twisting the elastic member, action of pinching and pulling part of the elastic member, action of squashing or crushing the entire elastic member, action of bringing a hand close to the elastic member, and action of rubbing the front surface with a palm or finger. It is possible to detect, for example, the 1 action of touching the elastic member and the 6 action of bringing a hand close to the elastic member by using capacitive sensors as the sensors. I know there's probably a very normal use for the thing they're talking about, but this really sounds like they're making a controller that will fuck you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Res 2 sounds like it's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
This is a robot penis that you can hold in your hands.
I bet it works great with a PSVR too.
Jesus.
So look forward at Sony's showing this summer for the Bad Dragon logo to show up.
You really thought we had inside out tracking before?
Oh, no! This might be the best technology patent I have ever read.
No.
This is insane.
Look, I'm just saying, also, the shape of the elastic member may be controlled not only by mixing a functional fluid or the like,
Okay,
but by providing an artificial muscle or soft actuator in the elastic member, or suturing an artificial muscle or soft actuator to the front surface of the elastic member.
Oh my God.
That's great, Aggro. But the greatest technology patent of all time is that patent where you have to stand up and yell McDonald's to make the ad stop.
Yeah, but I mean that one only fucks you metaphorically.
Yeah, that's this one you have to jack off and yell McDonald's. Holy shit.
According to the present embodiment, it is possible to enrich haptic experiences.
Oh, I've been looking for an enriched haptic experience. Maybe this is the controller for me. My wife sure seems enthusiastic.
Look, I'm just saying we as a society are at a certain point going to have to come to terms with the fact that fucking consumer electronics is a direction in which we're headed. Like we've got to get there in our headspace.
That is the last frontier. Just getting people to just acknowledge it publicly and openly.
Putting the PlayStation brand on it.
Yeah, it's fine now. It's a PlayStation.
Yes, it means that now.
It's like, hey, Tom, you said you were going to introduce me to your girlfriend? Ah, you're right. For years, I've been telling you I have a Canadian girlfriend. I'm just fucking my PlayStation.
It's my sex box, and her name is Sony.
No. Ugh. Don't call it. We're going to Chris for news.
Okay.
Any dildos on your end of the...
No. Well,
I see some Activision Blizzard news in here. I'm scared.
Yeah, let's do there's also Phil Spencer news. Let's just do the ActiBliz Microsoft block.
Sure.
Because every week.
The Justice Department was suing Activision Blizzard for the salaries of their esports leagues because Activision Blizzard had limits to what you could pay, and they would like fine teams if they paid too much. They apparently already settled this shit. Like as soon as it came out, it was like they settled. So I assume it was make this shit go away, make this shit go away. We are getting so close to the deadline of this fucking acquisition. Everything needs to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Also, literally as this news broke, they announced a new Overwatch character. It's like fucking clockwork. They can't help themselves.
No.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
They're a pansexual plant person, I guess. I have no idea because the fucking tweet was so stupid. I have no idea if that means is a stupid way of saying they're vegan, or they're spliced with plant DNA. I don't know because their name is like fucking Life Weaver.
Who knows? I don't know if they know. I saw the design. It's weak sauce. This motherfucker's like the 6th guy from pre-tier. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I assume since this is the Overwatch universe, he is plant-based, but who knows?
Who's that guy from League of Legends that you always make fun of, like the dual guy?
I knew I saw this guy and I'm like, he's gonna steer this towards Tarek for fucking sure. Here you go, Bob. There's
yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah, okay.
The National Labor Board, however, has settled with and is suing Activision Blizzard for 2 additional things and said there's going to be more. Specifically in this case, they threatened to discipline employees discussing salaries on Slack, which you're not fucking allowed to do.
Ooh, yep. No.
Absolutely not.
And when there was a walkout in response to the Dobbs decision where Roe vs. Wade was undone, there was a walkout, and you're not allowed to fuck with that. That counts as protected speech. But they were like, we're gonna try and find and discipline the people who started that.
Cool, great.
So there was that, and then there was there's gonna be more. Cause surprise, the company's nothing but a bundle of fucking human rights violations.
Can't wait for Microsoft to fix it.
Yeah, they'll definitely do that. That's the number one thing on their agenda.
And they're so good at doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there are no problems anywhere else.
Now Microsoft knows. So Microsoft turned off the ability to run like the emulators in retail mode on the series, which was a big thing in like retro YouTubers fucking gushing over it.
Yeah, they literally were soy jack pointing for, well, I guess
years.
Until right now. So 2.5 years.
You can still
almost.
do it in development mode, but development mode has a lot of restrictions.
Yes, it does.
So they basically made something very easy significantly harder.
Yeah, and you also have to boot into the separate mode for that. So
you also have to buy
fucking
developer
annoying.
mode.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that costs money.
Like you have to put stuff on it via FTP in developer mode. Like you have to connect it to your PC to do it. It's a big fucking hassle.
Yeah.
John Linneman was heartbroken.
When your box only does like 2 things.
And you take away one of them.
Yeah, it's rough.
And the other Microsoft piece of news, Quantum Break is leaving Game Pass, but they said it's temporary because they have to work out licensing issues before it can come back, which you'd think they'd do before they would have to take it off. To which I posit this gamer premonition that we're going to do right now. Will Quantum Break ever come back? I say no, Dan.
It's not going to come back for 6 months. Then it'll be a huge deal when it comes back. Microsoft will announce a game they made is now available on their own platform.
They love doing that. They ran out of ones to do with like the deal with Bethesda with Ghostwire and stuff. They're itching for another one of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I say it will come back. It'll take time, but it will come back.
More or less than 6 months.
Less than 6 months.
Okay.
Aggro.
No, I think we're putting this over 6 months. This is like somebody fucked up. Somebody didn't dot an I or file a form somewhere. We're going to have to wait for a clock to run out. But Dan is absolutely right. They're going to announce this shit like it's some new acquisition they've made.
By the way, I referenced it earlier in this podcast, but I was, I had to download Athena to my GIFs folder.
Mm-hmm.
And I shit you not, I go to download one other image because I was going to show that guy from Overwatch, Lifeweaver.
Yeah.
But as I go to save him, it's still in the GIFs folder. And it shows me the only thing in there that isn't a GIF. And here's that image, that thing I referenced earlier in this podcast, the fucking Penny Arcade strip. Let's throw these at hats. God! This shit is fucking 16 years old! Anyway.
Okay, more news. Phil Spencer has slunk off in defeat. He is no longer at Google.
You mean Phil Harrison?
Phil Harrison.
Yeah, Phil Harrison. Fucking, why are there so many Phils?
I don't know. Isn't that weird? That's weird.
But he's gone. We'll see if we live in a cruel fucking comedy and he ends up back at Xbox.
Oh, we might also end up back at Sony because, they're making their own terrible decisions
I
at the
feel
moment.
like Jim Ryan probably would exile the man. I feel like there's
Probably.
something bitter and rivalrous about
Jim Ryan's like, I'm the huge dumbass at this company.
Right?
we only have place for one dipshit, Britain. It's me.
I don't think he'll approve as many Horizon projects as I will.
This guy might be able to
Okay,
give us a social media platform we can tap into and get ahead of the metaverse, which isn't going to happen. So I'm going to not hire him. God, yeah, there's no way he would hire him.
EA is rebranding FIFA into EA Sports FC, as in football club. And apparently they're going to start fucking actually shipping that shit on Switch again.
I thought they already did this.
As opposed to maybe they already announced that part, but this part is like it's going to be on Switch again, unlike us shipping FIFA 14 10 times on the Switch.
Yeah. Because for people who didn't keep track of this, they didn't want to renew their license with FIFA, the organization, to get the title FIFA.
I think it was on FIFA's side where it's like, no, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they couldn't renew because they didn't pay enough. No, let me put it this way. That sentence structurally is supposed to work like he didn't pay his rent. But yeah, so FIFA is saying they're going to make the best football game in the world. Football. European.
Derogatory?
Derogatory. And they're doing this. EA's doing this.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. With like FIFA customers, I always wonder if a change like this like breaks the magic that like they just go to the store and don't see FIFA and then don't go any further. They just don't get it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's very likely.
Right, I think that was what happened was winning 11. Because that became pro soccer something.
Isn't it like e-soccer or something?
I don't remember. Now it's changed twice. Because winning 11 was only called that back on the PS2 days, and then they started going downhill after that.
Is this the Konami one?
Yep.
The Konami one did good for a long time under its new title. I don't know if it did good after they changed it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now now there's Konami news, so let's go into that.
Sure.
Konami is rebuilding their internal development capabilities. They are building a new studio in Osaka with full AAA development capacity, advanced mocap, etc., etc., etc.
Huh.
They are building a new R&D center that was going to be finished in 2025. They have increased the base salary for their developers by a lot, allegedly. Like the way it was phrased, it sounds like 30-40%.
Huh.
Ooh.
And they gave the quote, in order to achieve further sustainable growth in the significantly expanding entertainment field, Konami Group will strengthen its product development capabilities and continue to provide products and services for the next generation.
Man, these are going to be some bitchin' pachinko machines.
Yeah, it's going to be so good. No, I
I'm
really
not
love
worried
that.
about that because all those people have apparently been ostracized.
I love the expanding entertainment industry. It's like, you mean this thing that was happening the whole time and you left for a bit, then you came back and you're like, this seems like a real growth opportunity.
He got drunk and wandered out and then finally walked back in like, oh, you still doing this?
Somewhere in the
I'm
middle of
deeply
green
scared.
lighting all of these giant projects, Konami went, man, imagine how much more money we could make if we made this instead of letting Sony. or letting
I am a little
the other
scared
people, the bloober
that
team.
R&D facility means they're going to try and make like Fox Engine 2.
Yeah, that's always a threat.
I feel like the developers there may actually keep them from doing that. Because keep in mind, people who design that engine are fucking gone.
Yeah, I was like, unless any tech guys stuck around and really would love to go back into the mines.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know a few of the high level members
Went to Namco or whatever.
Yeah, Namco and other places.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think they have any tech guys left, and I don't think Konami is the type of company that would let them spend years making an engine instead of just going, fucking Unreal's right over here. You gonna not eat this?
Look, the Fox engine won't kill you if you decide to not let it. It's fine.
I'm not so, that never as a thought entered my brain until just now. And now I'm really concerned you're lying.
No, I played Metal Gear 1. That's how it works.
Oh, okay. You need to have the will to live, and then Fox Engine won't kill you. I see this as really good news.
Yes, it's great news.
Yeah, they have a ton of IPs that are really great, and it's been sad just watching all those kind of wither away.
I bet Iga is so tired of how the Kickstarter went that he's like, I'll go back. That's fine.
that could. I mean, he didn't get abused this way.
Kojima did. So maybe.
Yeah, he just sat in the mines making mobile games for a few years and then got out.
Yeah, and then Ben Judd's like, what if you saw the light of day again?
And then he said a slur.
I mean, it was in between every word because it's Ben Judd we're talking about, but I just shortened the sentence.
Right, he's speaking in Japanese, so
Yeah, let's.
So it's okay.
Let's move on a little bit. So we had the debate. Would the console versions of the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters fix the font? I insisted yes, and Dan and Bob went but now they have said yes, we have fixed the font. We are now marketing that fact because someone who knows what they're fucking doing got involved.
Yeah, I can't believe there's a switch to turn it back to the bad font. I was like, who went on earth?
This one has soul. I'm so fucking glad they fixed that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that is cool. I'm gonna shit on Saints Row now again.
Every week.
Which big thing is it?
So Saints Row released their DLC roadmap in the past week. Oh yeah,
right.
it was one of those cases like, oops, we sold a season pass with the deluxe edition and our game failed. We're now obligated to make all this fucking content.
Great.
In Tantas we trust.
You shouldn't though. Let's just be clear.
So they released this as like a YouTube short TikTok style video.
What?
Yeah. It's fucking rough. But not only that, they had an AI voice it.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Nobody
it feels
left
less
that
deliberate and more like they already fired all our marketing guys. I'm sorry. This is all we got.
Wow, look at this roadmap. Yippee.
The joke is
the joke is we've sold a season pass.
April. The prophecy is fulfilled. The 8-year 9, I think. Yeah, 10, because Saints Row 4 actually came out in 2013.
Yeah.
The prophecy is foretold. The Dead Island 2 cosmetic pack launches this month in Saints Row: The Saints Row.
What? Are those even the same company anymore?
No.
What a wonderful tribute to a game that will never come out.
I think they're both under Embracer.
Yeah, now now they are because they're both under Embracer.
Yeah, because back then they were both being published by Deep Silver, I thought.
No. Wait.
Yeah,
yes,
think
for that slice of time.
Then, and
yes.
then somehow Embracer ended up with them both again.
Jesus.
Where did that bring you?
So Dead Island 2 cosmetic pack May. A new district? Like, you already didn't use the fucking city. You're adding more?
Look, we bought it years ago.
a combat overhaul, which I don't think you can fix that, but sure. And
Perfect guard.
and more. And then you get new missions in the expansion pass. And then in July you get new features. That's what you get. That's what they wrote. And then you get the next chunk of the expansion package called Doc Ketchum's Murder Circus. So I'm sure it's gonna be dog shit. And then in August they're adding another new district to the fucking map.
What?
Okay.
And new features and improvements and more, and also I think that's the last chunk of the expansion pack, which it seems like it's going to be more of the LARPing stuff. I will not be playing that because I already sold the game.
Oh.
Ooh, smart.
Fair.
So smart. Okay, I thought about it. I finally figured it out. This is a riddle that has vexed me for days, and only now did I see the light. Bob,
Yeah.
Phil Harrison should go to Embracer. I just want to see untold amounts of destruction.
Oh my god.
Well, I feel like that would go like, so I got these terrible ideas, and then the executives at Embracer are like, we're an investment firm, guys. We're pretty immune to these kind of ideas. Goodbye.
No, somehow Phil's once again, it's a bog witch's curse. Phil's gonna walk in and somehow, through some amount of words that are actual words and other words that are synergistic boardroom bullshit, convince them to buy these things that are like Wii U tablets, right?
I was thinking like, what is he gonna activate his fucking stand and it'll be like the world sound effect, and they're holding like the Wii tablet that's saying THQ.
They're holding the U draws or whatever.
Oh, you draw tablets. I don't want to remember.
Did you get those at GameStop, Bob?
Yes, there was
Did
a
you ever
pile
sell
as
a
tall as
single
me.
one? Did you ever sell a single one?
I don't think we even sold one. No, I think we had to ship them back.
So here's the only time I ever saw one of those fucking things in person.
Uh-huh.
I can't even remember. It was in town. There is like a 70s shopping center. Like it's from the fucking 70s. It's in the old part of town. And in that shopping center for a long time, there was one of those old department stores.
Like a JCPenney?
No, even more like than that.
Mm.
I'm desperately trying to remember its name. It had like a 4-letter name, like Allco or something. And that was it eventually before they went under, they became like, we sell fucking overstock. We sell shit that nobody else sells. They became like Big Lots, if you're familiar with Big Lots.
Yeah.
So they became that, and that's the only place I ever saw one. When I was like, I'm just gonna see what's inside here. Surely there will be something.
Thank you, Chad. I was sitting there racking my brain with what Phil Harrison's stand would be called. Zing Amazing nailed it with Phil's stand. Bad idea. Oh, that's cold.
Oh man, that'd be great. Just imagine like Polnareff fighting the Bad Idea stand. And he's like, Jotaro, I put all my money into Dogecoin.
You seem like a real dumbass.
Joseph looks at how the metaverse is doing and goes, oh my God.
I will never forgive Silicon Valley. Oh, man. Yeah, the U-Draw still isn't real. I haven't had to see it. In fact, I've never even seen it in a video. I've never seen the U-Draw. It's just a phrase you say to explain why THQ died.
Yeah, I've always had an interest in drawing and such. I never even once considered touching or buying that.
Well, yeah.
Even went on down to clearance to like under $10 or something.
Yeah,
they made one for the 360.
Yeah. Yeah, they thought actually making it for other things would save it because it's PS3 and 360, and
yeah, they made it for all the consoles at that time.
Didn't they even make it for PC or something insane? It's like, how? What?
I don't know if they did
no
PC.
one cares. What are you doing?
I feel it was just the consoles.
They did an impressive thing.
That's unhinged.
Oh yeah, no, they fucked up.
Yeah,
They absolutely fucked up. It made no fucking sense. That's the sort of thing where it's like, can you believe they died? And you go, yeah, they were hit by a car.
There was not much left.
It really felt like the other guys. It's just like, do you think they thought they would land and be safe? No, I think they just went insane.
There wasn't even a balcony.
No,
Wow. Apparently part of the reason THQ got tricked is because every fucking journalist that got their hands on it is like, it's great. It's gonna fucking sell gangbusters.
yeah, you can't trust those people. They want to have good relationships with you. Which
Right.
This
that's
thing
the
you're
thing.
sending me for free is amazing.
Yeah, you never want to surround yourself with sycophants. You always want to surround yourself with people who will actually just be straight with you. That way you don't do that. That way you
Video
don't.
games only wants to be surrounded by straight people.
I'm really, I'm really not comfortable in spaces where everyone around me isn't willing to be straight with me. What did he mean by this?
But that's all the news.
Phil Harrison walks into a gay bar. They go out of business. How did he do it? I don't know anymore, okay? You want me to explain it with words other than a bog witch?
It is funny. I think he's been at every major company, like in the gaming field, except Nintendo.
They're too fucking smart.
Yeah, like there's no way Nintendo would hire him on. So it's like, what does he have left? Nintendo's like, the
I
Apple
think
gonna
he just
hire him?
retires at this point. No, Apple's too competent.
Yeah, they do seem too competent for that.
They do.
Here's a minor news thing related to Apple. Apple is launching new rules for how long cookies and what can take cookies on their fucking platforms. And advertisers, like people who work in online advertising on Twitter, are fucking crying.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
They're
it's making our lives really hard. They're not letting us steal all your data anymore. I'm like, yes, more.
It's really funny because they're like, you don't understand. This is basically going to create two internets, Chrome and Safari. And it's like, okay. They're still kicking the shit out of you, so I'm pretty into this. I'm pretty aroused right now. In fact, the more you cry, the harder it's getting. Please stop.
So should I switch to Safari? Is that what you're saying?
Is there anything less sympathetic than
No.
when somebody who's coming in 15th place bitches about the person who won cheating? It's like, it wouldn't have mattered to you either way.
Come on, man. If Sony weren't here, we'd be doing great. Nintendo would still be here. Oh.
We decided they don't count.
And for some reason, some senators agree. If only we could figure out the reason. It's such a mystery.
We rounded up all these old people who aren't sure where they are anymore, and they agree with us.
I wonder what old people he's talking about. It could be anybody. My computer is slowly dying as we continue this, so I'm going to try to do this, and we're going to see how that goes. Wish me luck, chat. Wish me luck, devil. Wish me luck. Bob and I tomorrow are playing. Hey, it worked. There we go.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. The Groose is loose. Whatever that means.
God.
How funky is your chicken?
I really love the guy in the upper right. He's so upset.
Oh my God. Link has the best faces in this one. Look at that.
He does. Anyways, that's what we're going to be doing.
I can't even deal with this. This is too much.
This is what we're going to be doing tomorrow for like 30 hours. So please stop by Friday and Saturday as we get to it.
I'm excited for Dan to learn all about Groose.
Yeah, I know jack fucking shit about this man, but this thumbnail's hilarious.
Aggro, do you know about Groose? Did you play this game?
I did not, but I am slowly absorbing the energy from this thumbnail.
But I'm excited to learn about the Groose. Stop by for that, peoples. Anyways, hey Aggro, what you got going on in the next week?
Stuff.
Okay. Chris?
So instead of playing games that I'll probably really like the Wario Land games,
Yeah.
I decided to play Tomb Raider: The Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I need to know how many pieces of rebar she falls on. And maybe there might be a goal for her to become the Tomb Raider 2 additional times.
Will you have a rebar counter on screen for everyone?
Ooh.
Yes, I will probably have. I will have something like Riona counter,
And then every
or just like the creator's poorly hidden fetish counter.
and then
You
every,
have to fail every QTE on purpose.
yeah, it's true.
Some of those are just
No,
unhinged
no.
level of horrible.
Oh,
And every time it happens, you need to hit a button that increments it on your stream, and it goes oof, and the fucking robot sound.
Oh my god, and she gets impaled on bungee traps.
Ah.
Ugh.
That stream sounds exciting. I hope I'm conscious for it. Given that I'm going to be live 30 hours and maybe even rage you, I doubt it. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Executive Nation. Thank you all for watching. Oh my god, the theme's starting. What the fuck?
wow.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Episodes such as this and this whole series is only possible because of you and your incredibly generous support over on patreon.com/GB Podcast, where you can get access to all sorts of commentary tracks, a really good film called Isolation 119, vote on other things, bless Blontemp Blub, Curse Content Committee, get over there, do that, have a good one!